We're live.
Alright, good. Want to take it then?
Yeah, I'm just gonna send this message in announcements to link. There we go. Alright. So, welcome back to the final round of this season's eSports League. We are at Mount Panorama tonight. As usual, it's me, Rostorm and Pyro on comms for what's going to be a pretty exciting final round, I think. We've still got 3 drivers in with a really decent chance of taking the title. 3 teams, sorry. And then the other 2 are battling for P4 in the standings as well, so quite a lot to play for tonight.
Yeah, everyone's going to have something to try and go after. And, well, quite frankly, it's a case of can anybody stop Project Platypus, which...
Yeah. They need a stinker tonight to lose the championship, as it stands. They've got, I can't remember what the gap is. I think it's 51 points, potentially.
Something of that nature. It's
53, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a case of their entire championship realistically hinges on BX, in my opinion, and whether or not BX is replicating his Monza stint.
Yes.
Or not.
BX needs to rebound hard tonight to because they don't have Tobias tonight. They have Zico and they have Perry back. So yeah, they'll lose. Well, the guy who won them their most recent race is missing. Let me just reset the lobby quickly.
There's also a very interesting scenario because we had Tobias last week. We had him against Syndra, where Syndra essentially didn't go for it. He wasted his opportunity, and
he did.
He's going to be looking for revenge this week. And I don't think there's going to be very many people here to stop him.
Yeah. Syndra seems to be the quickest guy, but I think Javi's going to have a better time in the Vantage here than he did at Monza. I don't think the Gen is going to be that overpowered this time round.
Yeah, the Bathurst is medium speed VLP, right?
Bathurst is high speed as well.
Oh, is it high speed?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just never assumed Bathurst being a high speed BLP. Don't know. Just doesn't feel like it. But okay, that means that the Aston's going to suffer a little bit here then, because the main buff for the Aston comes at medium speed.
Yes, that is true. That is true. It might struggle just like it did last week on the straights, but it should be an absolute beast through the mountain section. Let's ride on board with BX for a little bit whilst we wait. We still got 8 minutes till qualifying starts. Actually, might need to do another reset before then. On time and organised.
Early, I think, is what we call this. I'm just going through the Discord. Everyone just like, okay, I'm tagging everyone. I've just used my slow down minute to put the word yes.
Just tell them. Last race, by the way, of the season, as per eSports tradition, is always a 24-hour race. That's why we always race on a 24-hour track. So we've got the time multiplier on 14 times. We're starting in the evening, which means it'll get dark pretty quickly, and then we'll do a full night stint, and then we'll go through the morning and back through to the evening. So in order to get that, we've got about a 98-minute race, which means we need a 14 times time multiplier for that.
Yeah, I'm just typing it out. Now, every season, far. Yeah, I've just got through, put that in now.
No one see it anyway, they're all out on track. Elian out for... Okay, let's go through who we've got tonight anyway. Let's exit and go through the list. We got Javi we've got Slim and we've got Kepler here for Arix tonight. You can tell the difference because they've all got different color accents on their cars. They are in P2 in the standings, like I said, 53 points behind Project Platypus. Then we've got an incredibly strong lineup for Falcon. They've got Dino, they've got Ahmed, and they've got Syndra tonight, who is, I think, probably just changing his fuel or something. For Project Platypus, we've got Zico, BX Royal, and Perry trying to bring it home for them. And then for Aero, we've got Elian, we've got Owen, and we've got Prime Call, all sporting different liveries tonight. And then for Kavar, we've got the usual, the same three that they've had pretty much all season. Fluffy Butt, we've got Latari, and we've got Hollywood, the captain.
Yeah. It's gonna be a decent night. Everyone's now just had the added pressure of having a night cycle thrown on them 15 minutes before race before lights out, which is always a good sign. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a very different race to what we're used to. I still think that Falcon, Kavar and Aero GT might be a little bit tailed off from the rest.
Yeah, that is what happened last week, wasn't it? They were kind of in most of the final positions, and that's what kept Project Platypus really as far up as they did. They didn't lose too many points to everyone because, yeah, they were all just jumbled up in the top 9 essentially. The three teams apart from BX who had a nightmare.
So yeah, and if the same thing happens again, then we can pretty much claim a champion off that basis alone. But it's going to be. Tonight's going to be whether or not a team can work together. Bathurst is a tricky track. It's not necessarily one of those where you're going to see a lot of overtaking in terms of, especially in the uphill. So you've got to work together. You've got to coordinate. You've got to be able to get yourselves through when you can, especially if you're working together as a team, and see if you can progress your way up the standings that way. And one of these teams needs to separate themselves tonight. Yeah,
exactly. Essentially, what Falcon need to win tonight is they need a 1-2-3, and everyone in Project Platypus have to have a nightmare. They need to finish like 9th or lower, and then they would overtake Project Platypus. But they also need Arix not to have a good night either and to overtake them. So it's pretty tricky for them. Arix, again, they just need to try and aim for all 3 cars in the top 5 and hope that Project Platypus have basically their worst night of the season. So it is possible, but in order for it to happen, Project Platypus have to perform worse than they have done all season long, essentially. So it's a tall order.
Yeah, it is interesting, though, because we have seen, just going through the lineup for Project Platypus tonight, we've seen Perry, who's done 2 races, I believe, this season, if it's not 2 or 3, and hadn't actually ended higher than halfway up the pack.
Yeah.
We've seen BX, who had the awful weird night to get to Monza, but then when he was doing well, Blue Moon, for example, spins it away, gives away the opportunity. He almost did it at Seaside, but then Zico would have picked that up regardless. So we've seen that there is a chance that these guys end up dropping the ball. Zico is usually a very consistent marker, though, which is going to be their biggest issue, trying to overtake Project Platypus tonight, I think, for the other 2 teams.
Ben on Arix just said in the chat, 100% Project Platypus are winning the championship tonight. Nowhere near 100%, I don't think. Arix has overcome this before, this kind of last season.
We've had bigger.
Yeah.
We've had bigger gaps coming. I'm pretty sure we've had bigger gaps coming into the final race than this. So swing the opposite way. But they definitely are in pole position. That's stating the obvious here a little bit. But they definitely are in the best position in order to attempt to win this championship, get over the line here. But yeah, we're just going through now and figuring.
There we go.
One person joining every single time you're pressing the button.
There we go. Now I can tell them we're starting soon. But I do need to make sure that everyone enters, and hopefully they've got their aerodynamics sorted, the downforce sorted.
Yeah, give them a minute or
I will
two.
give them until maybe 32 just to make sure that they've got all that done.
Yeah, that seems fair. If they haven't done it by that point, then I feel like that is a
DF just to remind them.
Nope, Javi's wanting you to wait.
Tall order to overcome. Yeah, it's a tall order. We have to wait to see what happens in.
It's
I mean, they need to stop Project Platypus getting a pole position today. Those extra, like, if that's 4 extra points of misery heaped on top of it. If they could, well, it would be an 8-point swing actually if they got pole.
I was about to say the job becomes a lot harder at that point, whether or to get the job done at that point. It is a very tall order, but not impossible. And Bathurst was put last. One, because it's got 24-hour cycle and it's nice. It's an iconic track. And two, because it's arguably one of the hardest tracks, if not the hardest track in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it will, and it can, and probably will throw up a curveball at some point.
Absolute sandbagging in the chat.
At that point, it's a case of, is that curveball going to be big enough? Is it going to be a crash? Is it going to be someone spinning out on their own that kind of just sways the
the amount of people that are going to get into incidents on the hill, on the mountain section of this track. I think the majority of the grid will have some sort of incident at some point. Maybe we'll even see a pile up on lap 1.
Yeah, it could be the case. I feel like the first corner, and especially turn 1 and turn 2, are going to be absolute nightmares to start at the moment. But we'll see how everything unfolds. We are in an eSports league here, so it should realistically be, in theory, a lot cleaner than normal. But you can't guarantee that kind of stuff, can you?
Absolutely not. Right, let's give everyone just a few more seconds before we start. But as soon as it hits 32, because I said 32, I'll stick to it. Nice, 21 people watching for the final race. Good attendance, guys. Welcome. Actually, before we start, we're very close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you aren't subscribed and you're watching this, do us a massive favor, because once we get to 1,000, we get like extra features YouTube unlocks for us as a channel, and hopefully it will help us drive things on in terms of maybe getting a few more people watching these and developing a bit more of a following.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice. Anonymous saying only 4 lap 1 casualties instead of 8. Yeah, that's probably fair. Turn 1 is a nightmare around this track because it's a 90-degree left-hander, and it's a very tight corner as well, which just doesn't allow for an overtake into turn 1 without absolutely destroying somebody into the Shadow Realm at some point. And but yeah, I feel like that first lap could be absolutely crucial tonight. You just gotta survive.
So who's making it out first? It looks like it's going to be Owen, actually.
The Falcon guys have apparently been practicing a lot. They're aiming for that 1, 2, 3.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they're aiming for it. We know that that's their job. They don't have another mandate today. It is 1, 2, 3 or essentially bust.
I do admire the confidence.
So we do know that they have to do that. They have to get it right, because they are in such a position that anything other than that 1, 2, 3 becomes a very, very tall order to climb.
Absolutely. Prize money, by the way, we do have prize money for esports. £80 for, or dollars or euros or whatever your currency is for the winners. So far, every time someone's won prize money in esports, they've donated it to charity, which is lovely. Not mandatory though. They could use it for a whole variety of things, potentially trying to attract some fast talent, because I know some of these GT World Series drivers will race for you if you pay them. I don't know how much £80 would go, to be honest with you though.
Game's bugged out. What's happened there? What's happened to Dino?
Is he out on track?
I don't see him.
He's not in the lobby.
See 14. He's not. It kicked him out. It kicked him out.
1 sec. Let's see. Is he actually in?
Bring up the chat.
Yeah, he left the room and joined.
Yep. I have to restart this then.
Okay.
Before anyone gets their lap sorted.
Sorry, guys, that is going to have to be a restart.
Championship fight.
We have to keep it fair. We have to keep it fair. We can't just give them a huge disadvantage when it's only going to cost us 2 minutes, essentially.
Did you just back out the lobby entirely?
I did.
You.
Sorry about that. At least I can change this. Can you write something in the chat?
Oh, just gonna.
That's my fault. I thought that was just exit into the lobby.
No.
Evening times 14.
Yeah, he closed
this...
the lobby because you were spectator already. So when you came out onto the ground, it was just
yeah, I know. Usually, yeah. Sorry, guys. We're not professionals.
Hey! I may get the settings wrong every so often, but I don't close the lobby.
Right, the lobby's back up.
It is only fair to restart. The full restart is indeed a restart. No, you are right. That is true. Wasn't meant to be a full restart. It's going to be one of these nights. Oh God, Ross also had, for reference to the people watching on this stream right now, before we went live, Ross had the greatest idea to put the 24-hour cyclone times 4 because...
No, why are you telling them this? This didn't happen. This is fake news.
Because 24... Because 24 goes into 96 4 times. Oh, sorry, I had to. You had to do 49 laps, Ross.
What? Well, how many did I put? 48.
48.
I was close. It's alright, we don't have 16 people in yet anyway. Where is Dino? Is Dino one of the people in the lobby?
Someone's talking about how horrid wind now. I'm just... This is... It is...
No, we don't. It's 1.7 meters a second. It's fine.
I'm guessing it's in the opposite direction of what they wanted. Or what they had.
It's not even windy at all. It's like basically no wind. Right.
Yeah, well, apologies for the restart, everyone. Dino decided... Dino got bugged out. And we tried to restart, and... Ross decided that the entire lobby needed to close.
I was going to say sorry, but I've already apologized. I don't need to keep doing it.
Oh, I'm crying, honestly. Oh, it's incredible. Incredible.
Right, everyone's in. Why are they all saying it's bad wind? There's no wind. Look right here.
It's 1.7 across the line, I think. It's because it's... Is it?
Wind.
Oh, it's because it's wind going down the hill, which is already not a good
Nice
sign
little boost for them. They need to stop whining.
Boost for them. Straight into the wall.
Right, this is it. This is going to be it. There's not going to be any problems. We'll get going with quali. Feel bad for Arix, Javi, because he was at the top of the field, but never mind.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 23 people in. It's the start of the stream as well. We usually the more people coming in usually come towards the end.
There we go, starting.
Of these streams as well, so it's a decent start.
Yes.
Absolute carnage in the lobby, and we haven't even hit the race yet, though.
This is what they've come for. Whoa, I've just opened the thing again. We've got loads of messages. I'm assuming it's all abuse at me.
Probably. Wind does change during a race, yes.
Yes, it can change at any point.
I was about to say, GT just likes to throw random weather changes at you, regardless of what you do.
Happy must have the best internet. He's out the first twice in a row.
He's out clean first this time instead of Owen in front of him.
Yeah, Owen was just in front of him, yeah.
Sindra the next one, Owen after that. You want to put on the sideboards and everything like that now then? So you know what's going on. There you go. Keep up with that as we go along. The Apex Fluffy Butt. New GT name for him at the very least.
I wonder what is with the Apex. Does Hollywood have it, actually? Where's Hollywood? Hollywood has Carvara on his name still.
And Latari is still as he has been for a while. Yeah. So yeah, it's as it is. Elian has apparently done no practice. So
Elian's incredibly good around here anyway. He could easily finish in a comfortable top 10 spot if he gets his infamous strategy calls correct. But also he's in the Lexus, it's going to be pretty OP on the fuel as well. He'll be able to do potentially extra lap on the first stint, or yeah, probably an extra lap. I don't know about 2.
Admittedly, we thought that would also be a benefit last week in terms of Prime Call going the extra ones, but it turned out that him going extra long just scuffed his strategy a little bit.
Yeah.
So, if you're going longer, you've got to get it right, which there are some people in particular on that Aero GT team that suffers from really bad strategy calls. That might be the mildest way I've ever put that, by the way.
Anyway, we got Javi just rounding the final corner now. He's going to be the first man to set the hot lap on Mount Panorama. He is the top driver in eSports according to the ALR rankings. So ahead of BX, ahead of everyone at the moment. So he's going to have to really put in a performance that justifies that position tonight if he's going to help Arix overcome Project Platypus.
Yeah, and he's got to get this Aston moving. We know if it's high speed, then the buff isn't going to kick in, which is going to hinder him a little bit.
Yes.
But he's got to get something going tonight. He's essentially got to win the race. Because Kepler has his jar opportunities. I don't know if Kepler will get many of those opportunities tonight, but we'll wait and see. And then Slim is definitely going to play the third driver role and needs to play exceptionally well as well. So everyone's got a role tonight. They all have the situation in front of them. The teams will have laid out the scenario, and they've got to execute it now.
Every single corner, Javi is almost grazing the wall. I think he grazed the wall once, so he's going absolutely to the limit here. Second sector time is a 1 minute .1, which I think is incredibly quick. So he's started the lap pretty strongly. It's going to be a good banker lap. Yeah. This is the corkscrew, which is incredibly difficult corner to get around. Sometimes you need to kind of skid round. It looks like he took the full width of the track on the exit there. Again, just missing the wall on the exit. And this is where we think the Aston might start to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, this final sector is where it's going to struggle because of the lack of a top speed. After all, what do you think pole's going to be here then? I know we're about to get our first benchmark Abby coming around the final chicane on his qualifying.
100%, it's going to be quite a bit under 2 minutes. I reckon maybe a 57 would be good. I've not seen how quick any of these guys have been in practice though. This is just finger in the air.
Here we go, Javi to the line, 54, 55, 56, 57, 50, it's a 50,
59.
Just under the 2 minute mark, 59.9 to start, so something tells me that this pole lap might be somewhere in the region of a low
you've
of a high
absolutely
58
set
maybe.
me up here, kept in the pits. Let's see what BX can do. BX 8/10 off Javi, so that was a really strong lap actually from Javi. The only man in the 59s currently.
So the pole is going to be a low 59, high 58 realistically then, potentially in this lobby, which is significantly slower than what we anticipated prior to running this race. Also, Sindra did a 2 minute flat there, so he did second, Ahmed in third, and that's what we. Oh,
there's a 3 second penalty.
That's not the pit lane, Dino.
Don't be doing that.
That is not the pit lane.
So, with the first set of laps done, a bunch of people bailed and went back into the pits because they obviously weren't on a good lap. We got Arix in P1, we got Falcon in P2 and P3, then we got Project Platypus P4, Aero GT in P5, Project Platypus 6th, and then Cavar 7th and 8th. So all of the teams are represented in the top 8 here.
Yeah, all of them represented in pretty much the top half of this lobby. Javi, about a quarter second up on everyone right now, so there's probably still more time to come from these laps. I would be very surprised if that 59.9 is good enough for pole.
Yeah.
But given what everyone done at the start, I think Javi would be perfectly fine with what he's got right now. And
yeah,
I think you would probably hope for BX and company to drop him.
Yeah, I think he needs to find some more time, but I have a feeling this is going to be his in-lap here. I think he's going to have time for another out-lap and just a single hot lap. He's down by a 10th, yeah, so he's bailed it into the pits. What about Syndra? Syndra in P2, 3/10 down at the moment. He's opted to stay out. He doesn't think pitting is worth it.
I think he's up at the moment as well. Look at the side.
Yeah,
of the
he must
screen.
be.
I think that's Syndra to the line. 57, 58, 59, 59, 97, 32 thousandths of a second. 2
thousandths of a second, but that is enough, and Javi has to respond now. Ahmed coming up to finish his lap. He's in a bit of traffic just behind Fluffy Butt, so let's hope that he doesn't get hindered. It looks like he's not going to at all. Slim pops up into P3. What does Ahmed do? He retakes P3 off Slim and resets the pit straight away. Fluffy Butt down in 8th, just 6/10 ahead of Hollywood. We've got a bunch of drivers coming up to the start-finish straight now.
Perry did a 2:01.3, then out-qualified by Ian as we see Keplero to the line. Is there an improvement in Keplero's
No,
lap?
Keplero is just starting his lap.
Like it.
Yeah, Prime Call's down a lot as well. And Dino also hasn't set his time either. Dino is about to set his first... no, this is actually an outlap as well.
Yeah. I would just like to point out, Latari, Elian, both of them just out-qualified Perry. So that'll drag it.
Where is Latari? 7th?
Just a little bit down at the moment. Obviously, Zico and BX 5 and 6 would be enough, realistically, to kind of close this out, depending on, obviously, how the front three kind of settle out, depending on whether or not there is a team that go, oh, that didn't look good.
No, into the wall a little bit there. He's just going to be on a bit of a cool lap, I think. Now, this is going to be a pretty slow time.
He is going to have to bail, but he was up. You see on the side, he was 1 point. It was a 10th up in the second sector. It was about half a 10th on top of what he actually had. So before hitting that wall, he might have had a chance to extend that lead over Javi, but kind of just bottled it away up. Shouldn't probably do that too many times.
Yeah, so he's only going to get one last lap, but he's on fairly worn tyres compared to Javi, who's just finishing his outlap now. So Dino will be the first person to see the checkered flag. Javi, just on an outlap, is the next one behind him. They are separated by absolutely nothing. Any improvement for either of them is going to put them into the top. Ahmed just taking his time. He's got plenty of time before he actually sets a lap. Arik Slim is on a he's on a fast lap now. Let's see what. Oh yeah, he's on an outlap.
No, he's on an outlap. He's got to get to the line. Zico's just about to come to said line. 2:05 up to 4th, just under a 10th of a second quicker than Slim. So Slim needs to respond now.
Yes. And what about BX? BX must be about to cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, but he's just about to start. He's just on an outlap beforehand, so he's just about to go for his final run. Latari to the line. Latari, not an improvement. We'll get one more. Who's the next one up? Owen. Just finishing his outlap, so he'll get going as well. So, Elian as well.
Someone's had a spin somewhere.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is
it
someone
was Zico. Zico's qualifying is done.
He needs to get out the way. Oh no, he's gone straight to the pits.
Yeah, he's gone back to the pits. Right, let's watch Syndra with what might potentially be a pole lap, a little bit twitchy as he went from the uphill to the downhill section there. Really needs to find a little bit of time because he's on...
Currently up at the moment though.
He's currently up, but he was on worse tyres than Javi, so Javi has more of an opportunity here. As the sun has set, this is a 14 times time progression, so we're going to have a lot of the race in the pitch black.
Yeah, Dino also did a 2:0.6. He'll get one more shot at it because we haven't quite hit the 2-minute mark yet.
Wow.
He's now up by a 10.5 is Syndra as he comes through the final couple of corners. One chicane and one 90-degree turn to go as we head into the darkness at the end of qualifying here. Everyone's got one last shot. Who's going to come out and pole? Our current pole says the first one to the line. One corner separates him and potential provisional pole. If he goes round the final corner, is it an improvement on the 59.8? Or 59.9, sorry, will it be a 59.8?
He doesn't improve.
It's not an improve. It's not
And now what can
improvement.
Javi do?
Javi, the next one to the line, as he said. He guns around the final corner himself. He got to improve. He got to find literally 0.003 of a second. It looks like he might. It looks like no, he won't.
No,
he
was
won't.
way
He's
down.
slow. He's slower. And Syndra is now in a very good position for pole.
We have a lot of drivers just about to finish their laps here. So keep an eye out on the right. It looks like no one's improving anymore. So maybe the sun going down has impacted people's sight. BX Royal up it with a 2-minute flat 0.5. Kepler doesn't improve. BX up into the top 4 just ahead of Zico. We've got Dino way back. He is the last one, so let's ride on board with him and see who else can improve. There's only 2 more. Well. There's only 2 more. Yeah, there's someone behind Dino as well.
Owen's lap just died. Owen's lap is over.
Okay.
He's slow on track, so that's the end of his qualification. There is one in front of Dino. We're not sure who that is at the moment, but we are watching Dino to the line. Is he going to be able to improve on 206? He needs to get in front of BX at the absolute least. We don't know whether or not he improved through the first couple of sectors, but going to the line,
slow.
He's not improving. He's not improving. It's a 202, 203, 202.
And that's it.
And
Syndra with a get out of jail 3 card there with that last sector where he seems to have lost a whole chunk of time. But Javi was just absolutely nowhere on his final lap. I think he gambled for the fresh tyres and it didn't pay off because he only had 1 lap to do it in. And yeah, first blood for Falcon. They get those juicy 4 bonus points. And all 3 of their drivers in the top 7 as well.
The job gets a little bit easier for Falcon.
Yes.
Not too much easier, but a little bit easier.
Puts them onto 430, Arix 477, Arix Project Platypus 530 currently.
Just about just shy of 100 points. It's not insurmountable yet. But yet is the big word there. As a whole, BX and Zico 4 and 5 is a big dagger to everyone, though.
It is big. It's not as good as we're used to seeing Project Platypus. No one in the top 3, but they're 4th and 5th. And where's Perry? Down in 13th though, only ahead of Hollywood and Prime Call. So he's got a lot of work to do in the race to try and get back up there because all 3 Arix drivers. You got Slim there. You got Kepler in the top 8. You've got Javi in 2nd.
I was about to say, yeah, you're right. 3 Arix in the top 8, 3 Falcon in the top 8.
and only 2
Perry
Project
seems to be
Platypus.
the outlier.
Yeah,
Perry's the outlier.
So, what about the battle for P4? It looks like out of all those drivers, Latari was the highest. Let's just get that up again. None of them in the top 8 though, so again, they're not troubling the top 3 teams. So Latari is the highest, just ahead of Owen by 0.5 Then there's L. Ian again and Fluffy. So very, very even. And then there's Hollywood and Prime Call. Maybe a slight advantage for Kabar there, but we'll have to see what happens in the race.
Yeah. They've got a long way to go to try and cover up that gap, though, because they didn't really make much of a dent in it against Aero GT last week. So they've got to find something going tonight to get that 4th place, which would be an absolute massive achievement, a top half finish for Kavar, by the way, in terms of the actual event as a whole. That would be they would be most improved team by no doubt, no question whatsoever. In this one, but yeah, it's going to require a little bit of a job from them today in order to do that. But yeah, also to answer chat, no, Aura isn't driving. The Arix have gone with Slim, Kepler and Javi today, and they need to get a good result out of it at the very least. And
I can't understand German, but I think he just said that the Ford GT is a bratwurst. I mean, around here, absolutely. No. Well, those are the only 2 words that I understood, so. I tried. Okay, let's get started.
Oh god. Oh. You need to start making me cry, honestly. Twice we've only been going for, I think it's been about 20 minutes. Alright, here we go. Get everything set up. And
There we go.
We're just about to start the
Good
lights
to go.
here. Bear in mind, they don't actually have staggered pit starting boxes for some godforsaken reason at Mount Panorama. You're just where you are. Here we go. Javi on the outside, Syndra on the inside. 5 red lights. It's lights out. Away we go. Who's going to get a better start off the line? It looks like Javi on the outside is off to a flyer. And he's got himself up to the lead straight away. Syndra on the inside kind of got screwed. BX is in third. And he goes against Syndra on the inside of what will be turn 2. As they head down the straight. Genesis versus... is that Genesis? I think that's a Genesis
Gen X versus GTR.
Yeah.
BX with the inside for the next corner. And yeah, Syndra potentially... Oh, he's got him on the brakes. Absolutely great bit of braking there. I think someone's... that was Ahmed potentially getting a little bit shaky in the exit there. Now we're approaching this really tight corkscrew uphill section, which is quite easy to get wrong. Looks like everyone is getting through it all right. Side by side for Dino and Kep.
It's been immaculate in terms of the start for Arix. Look at that gained position for Kepler.
Look at this,
gained
Hollywood.
Positions for Slim as he's up into 4th, and Javi takes the lead of the race. So it's been an excellent start here for Arix. And they just need, well, they need to. The order isn't as big for them, but it is still rather tall. Syndra's currently in 2nd. BX is in 3rd. Arix, if you're if you're an Arix fan right now, you kind of want these two to crash, preferably each other out.
Yeah, Syndra on the mediums as well, so that might explain why he lost out on the outside of turn 1. BX on the softs will need to get past Syndra pretty quickly if he wants to be thinking about chasing down Javi. Javi is on the softs as well.
Fair enough. Yeah, and we've got... It's got a long way to go. Right? We're only on that 1 of 49, and the tyres are good. The strategy they're going to employ.
Oh, he's going for it.
Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? No, Syndra got him around the outside still.
Yeah,
100%.
good defending.
Yeah, that's well played there by the Norwegian driver for Falcon there. As we got Arix Slim looking for the hole. Can he get the hole? He's going to have to follow around the outside if there is a hole. BX getting kind of caught up on the curb.
Yeah,
we've also got Zico trying to get involved here as well. And it looks like BX is going to hold on. Yeah, BX is going to hold on.
Huge amount of pressure here. He needs to kind of start to reel in Syndra pretty quickly because Slim fancies a move here.
Can I just say, Javi is gone.
Javi is absolutely... He's doing what a lot of people have done to him in previous races.
I was about to say, we go back to the first race of this season, we go back to the first race of last season, and I'm pretty sure it was done on the first race of the first season, where Javi just starts off a little bit... Oh, well, he starts on the medium tyres, for example, and gets absolutely crushed. Last season, this season it was Mahat, last season it was Super GT. Unknowns, but still a position that he's been in multiple times. Kepler needs to keep his car on the track. So yeah, Javi dealing a little bit of pain, a little bit of trauma that he's faced so far over the last couple of seasons himself.
Let's see. The battle for P2, so basically there's a train behind Syndra at the moment because he's on the mediums and everyone else is looking a little bit racing BX.
Oh, Slim dropped the car as well behind. It could have been the opportunity Slim was hoping for down the hill, but may have been caught slightly out by the mistake of BX there and slid his car through the corner at the same time. I don't know if he would have made it, but he would have had a massive opportunity, especially down the hill here. Kind of a missed opportunity now. Prank on Latari. Latari started up in 9th, remember, he's now all the way down in 14th.
Yeah, there was a first lap incident where 2 of the Cavar boys were impacted. Not quite sure what happened there. Perry up into P12 from 13th on the grid, I think he was. So still only, well, within 10 seconds of the lead. So he's still in the lead group for Project Platypus. He's going for it on Fluffy Butt.
Now, oh, and he's hit Fluffy Butt on the way through.
Add a bit more contact, add a bit more.
There's just contact between the two of them. That didn't look all that clean. Fluffy Butt still ahead.
Fluffy Butt
will keep it. What a move. Well, I say what a move.
Difficult round the outside in that final corner, absolutely. Perry's going to try and go into turn 1, is he? Not this time. Right, let's see what's happening a little bit further up. There is a huge train.
I want to see, go on Ahmed 1 second, because because the chat has been told, yeah, it's actually a team decision here. Look, go on Dino as well for good measure.
Yeah.
If you go on dyno, they're all on mediums.
They're all on mediums. Smart
so
decision,
Falcon,
potentially. We'll have to wait and see if it comes to them towards the end of the race. But yeah, they're keeping everyone apart from Javi behind them. But they do need that win.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Otherwise, as I said before we went into qualifying, it is realistically top 3 or bust for Falcon in this race. They're going to find it extremely hard to cover up 100 points without a triple. At the very anyway, and Javi also had the fastest lap so far, so also there's a bit extra points to make that tall order for Arix go down ever so slightly. Look at the gap that he has fashioned in the opening 5.5 minutes of this race. Syndra may be on medium tyres, but the issue is, well,
he's comfortable right now as well. He's got a 1.2 to BX.
He's kept everyone else behind him, but he's let one go, and that one will potentially come back to bite him later on.
Look at the overspeed Slim's got. He's gone for the bump draft. Interesting. They want to go for the win here. And it's very strange that you're working with the team that has a 53-point lead in the championship. I think the overtake was on there.
You know, absolutely. If he wanted the overtake, he could have had it. No question about that. I don't really know. I am always a fan of, if you can get the move, if you can have the opportunity to make a move, you make the move, because you don't know if you're going to get a second one.
Absolutely. We learned that lesson last week with Syndra, didn't we?
Yeah, and I don't know, especially when your entire agenda tonight is to make sure the team you were just helped not do that. It's an interesting decision, that's a certain. Someone's saying in chat, Slim maybe potentially fuel saving. We'll have to see. We'll have to pay attention to that as we go along.
What car is Slim driving?
Slim might be a GTR. I'm not entirely sure. You have to go forward and figure it out.
It's a Gen X.
Oh, it's Gen X.
Yeah, you do need to fuel save in the Gen X, but you can get away. Yeah, you can clearly see short shifting, but you can get away with that and hardly lose any time in the Gen X, so it's all good. That is.
And look at this. Now with that push that he did earlier, he's got BX right back up onto the back of Syndra.
He's lost him now.
You drop Slim. That is, it's just decision. It's just a decision you don't make.
Whoa!
Quite frankly, Syndra having a bit of a mare there.
He saved it well.
But yeah, heading into the darkness now. We get to see who's gonna hold their own when it all gets pitch black. Oh, again, Syndra just sliding the car. He's probably under fire here from BX. I would be very shocked if this does not turn into an overtake from this position.
Yeah, he's got the overspeed up the hill. He's got the slipstream. Now, what's going to happen? Because they're going to come together very close at this right-hand kink.
Yeah, he's got him comfortably.
And he doesn't fight it either. But 4 whole laps for BX on softer tyres to overtake Syndra. I think Syndra could be quite happy with that.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it took 2 mistakes on back-to-back corners for Syndra to even be in the position to be overtaken. So it definitely, definitely silver linings to being overtaken here. That's a certain. The issue is now is that they can see the guy that just overtook them is the one they absolutely needed to stop at any cost. So
6.3 seconds, by the way, the gap between BX and Javi. So that is the disadvantage. They're on the same strategy. Javi has slightly more higher tyre wear at this stage than BX, but nothing that will be causing him any sort of issues. Now he's just got to put in the laps of his life, BX.
Yeah. Was just wondering if after the Melissa, the bump draft is never the right decision, honestly.
I think if you're the top 2 and you want to get away from everyone else, absolutely, I think that's a good decision. I think if you're trying to catch up to one person ahead, which is kind of what this was, it's a good decision, but not when you need to overtake someone and then someone who's just above the BX nearly hit the wall. He saved it pretty well though.
Slid his car through that corner there as well. He just about kept it under wraps. But yeah, I just don't think it was the smart decision. Especially when you're in a championship, I get that it's strategy. It's early into the race. Everything is just kind of existing at this point in time. You're just trying to feel out the moments and see what opportunity are going to come your way, but that was an opportunity.
Oh, that was
massive opportunity.
Corner for Syndra. This is Slim's opportunity now. Gen X versus Gen X as well.
CBX has driven off into the distance, by the way.
He's not going for the bump draft. I thought he was going to bump Syndra down there, but he's on the softer tyres. He needs to get past him.
That's going to be made to look very easy. Yep, down the straight. Doesn't even wait till they get to the chicane.
Yeah,
Syndra
super straightforward.
loses out again. Syndra loses out again. Slim
Next
by.
up, Zico.
Quite frankly, Slim needed that because he needs to claw back BX, because the decision he originally made to let BX try and have a shot at Syndra is potentially backfiring already. He's got to get him now. He's got to get right up to the back of BX as quickly as possible. Get that slipstream, limit the damage a little bit, and see if he can fashion an overtake again later on into this race, because they need it. They need to overtake BX. BX needs to be outside of that top 3 at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. Long way to go though at the moment. The gap is 6.6 seconds, so Javi's actually increased his gap a little bit. As you can see in the TV mode, you can't actually see anything apart from the headlights.
We are very much in the dead of night now.
In the dead of night. Let's see what's happening a little bit further back. We got Ahmed still holding back Kepler really well and very close to his teammate Syndra. So he's putting in a good first stint here, is Ahmed.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You can still see the guard in front of him. Zico
what's happening
by,
here? Zico's got him.
Zico got him.
Right, we need to watch that again.
Ross finally gets to use his replay assistance this time. Finally.
So what happened? Because he looks comfortably ahead, hits the wall, and easy peasy. Doesn't get any damage from the wall though.
Gets away with it. He grinded against the wall there, and that's potentially
being caught by Ahmed now.
Yeah, it's got a teammate behind him, and then you've got Kepler on, I assume, in soft tyres there in 7th. If Kepler can start fashioning a move forward, then it'll be 3 in the top 5 here for Aero.
I was like, what are you doing?
I must be knocking I'm currently bent over for a minute, but that's going to get clipped and taken the wrong way, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Slim's got past BX. Okay, let's see if I've missed that. I've probably missed it, haven't I? Slim's already ahead. Unfortunately, we missed that move. Yeah, it must have been. There must have been a mistake for BX, because that was a 2-minute 4 lap. That is not what you want to be looking for. 3 seconds down.
Potentially. See, a penalty are very rare around this track, but it could be a penalty as well. We'll wait and figure it out later on. But yeah, Slim, Javi, 1-2. They need the Kepler move now. 2/3 of them are doing their job.
3 Aero boys in the top 10. Dino is down in 11th, 26 seconds off, so something's happened to Dino. Perry really struggling, lapping in the 2-minute 3s and 4s, and he's got the Cavar boys right behind him for company as well. So even though they've got 2 of the top 4, Perry is struggling at this stage of the race on his soft tyres in the Bimmer.
Yeah, I pulled this up at the beginning of the day, right? At the beginning of the day, where Perry hasn't been particularly high up in the points this season in any of the races he did, so it was a case of whether or not he would follow that kind of form or not. So we'll wait and see whether he continues to fall down the pecking order there in 12th. But yeah, it looked like BX may have made a mistake by the looks of what Chad was saying, but yeah, it looked like it was a pill mistake. As Slim goes by, so Slim's up in the second, so Javi's in third, Slim is in second, so 2/3 of Arex are doing exactly what they were tasked to do.
Let's have a quick look at and do some live standings here between Arex and Project Platypus. We got 1st, 2nd, and 7th. Kep needs some more points there, and then we got 3rd, 4th, and 12th.
It was 12th the last time.
Well, the gap is under 20 points, and with the fastest lap actually that they've currently got, Arex, that would be 25, 35. 17 points is the gap, so basically either Kepler needs to find a couple of positions, or Zico and BX need to fall down a few. So they need Falcon to do them a job, Arex, here.
I was about to say Kepler needs to get BX and Zico. That's essentially the bread and butter of this now, doesn't it? That's the main takeaway from those live standings, that Kepler has got to start moving forward, create some opportunities, get something going, and if he can.
And
then,
he's not anywhere near Ahmed at the moment.
No, he dropped so far off the back. That's not good news at all.
Yeah, he's in a bit of no man's land. He needs to really catch these guys. He's in he's got a good opportunity of jumping them in the pits when we get there. So potentially he's fuel saving. Let's see what he's doing.
Well, he's got a chance to catch up here, by the way, because everyone in front of him, there's a 6 or 7 car train in front of him. Sindri in the wall again.
Yeah.
So there is 6 or 7 cars here that just kind of all grouped together. So if Kepler can get himself in some sort of a rhythm, catch back up, shouldn't be too difficult to get back onto the back of this Gen X of Ahmed, and then he'll be back into the fight all the way up to second. You see BX and Slim up there just in the distance, in the background of the shot. They come down the hill now. As we go into the, what I think this is the 3rd sector of Bathurst? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Can't remember. How everything is.
I don't know, there's 5 or 6 sectors, I can't remember either. So let's see what's Javi going to do. I think he's probably got one more lap that he can get out of these, but when he comes into the pits, I have a strong feeling he's going to come out in traffic.
Well, either way, he has a 10-second advantage.
Yeah.
That is huge. Slim's doing another massive job in this race. He's going to go one more at the very least. The X is not all over the back of him. He's close, but he's not all over the back of him yet. And the longer that BX is kind of stuck here, the bigger this gap is going to get for Javi, because then Slim can just engineer a gap if necessary, and Javi should be at that point be able to drive away, kind of just sweep this race without much effort.
Yeah, and then we got Syndra still pretty close to P2 here on his mediums, and Ahmed as well. So I think this has been a pretty successful kind of decision. Well, at least for Ahmed. I think maybe Syndra should have started on the softs, to be honest.
Syndra being on pole probably should have matched Javi, if anything, knowing that they need to win the race at the absolute minimum, but we'll wait and see whether or not the strategy is going to play out for them. That's the big question here, isn't it? Because he's dropped a few positions. They would preferably have had him ahead of both the Project Platypuses at this point in this race, but beggars can't be choosers at this point in the season, so they'll just have to make do with what they've got right now. And is Kepler back up to the back? No,
he's even further behind. Off. He's making mistakes, isn't he?
Oh, this is not good news. That tall order is getting a little bit taller as the time goes on. We're about about a fifth actually of the way through this race now. Well, one of the Arex boys need to pick themselves up and get themselves going again. You can see them in front. 3 seconds is the one. It's a gap between him and the headlights in front of him. I'm not even calling them cars now. You can't see him anyway. Perry's got to 11th. Oh,
yeah, he's got ahead of Dino. Dino's going backwards on these mediums. Really struggling, it seems, with traction. And again, you can hear the car screeching through that corner. And now I think Hollywood might fancy a move on Dino. And we got Javi in the pits.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where he comes out or who follows him into the pits, if anybody.
You can also see the 2 cars in front here in the group here. The 2 are going to have interesting choices. Slim is into the pits as well, so it might be an Arex team decision here. We'll wait and see whether or not Kepler follows them. But yeah, to the first and second in this race, both into the pits now. Is anyone going to follow them here? That didn't look good there for
They're all
Hollywood.
going in anyway.
All 3 of them here. Yeah, you are right. Is anyone going to do the Perry's had a nightmare entrance into that pit. That might be maybe a penalty or something in there. We'll wait and see. You can see Javi's going all the way to a full tank, and he's going to come out with absolutely no traffic whatsoever, by the way.
Well, I think he'll catch up
there in front.
It's prime call, that is. Yeah, he's
they're going to be coming in at the end of the lap, so...
They will. The gap now, because he only put in Syndra 75% fuel, so the gap's 8.8, and it could fall a little bit. Syndra got Slim, you're right. Slim did the same as Javi, put in 100% of fuel, so lost that position. Is on the mediums. Syndra is on the soft, so he could just drive away from Slim now.
Ahmed as well.
Yeah,
Ahmed's here as well.
Ahmed's right there. Yeah, he put in a little bit more fuel than Syndra, but he's going to have a hard task, actually, getting past Slim here. Especially taking the corner like that.
Yeah, it is soft versus mediums. We saw how that functioned in the first stint here. The first 10 laps of this race kind of went one-way traffic for a soft tyre. We'll wait and see whether or not that's going to continue. The Arix boys are now going to get through this stint. Well, that didn't look too clean there.
Got away with it, actually. Didn't even get damage. Oh, I thought he was hit the wall again there.
Kind of heart attack inducing a little bit there as coming up the hill. Oh, coming down the hill even. But yeah, there's a lot of things that have just changed. Kepler, Zico, and BX have stayed out. So all three of the top tier of the top teams are on different strategies. In comes BX, in comes Zico.
Kepler carries on in his Lexus, so maybe dropping back a little bit might not be the end of the world for him. He's got such a bigger tank than everyone else in that Lexus, so maybe he can do less stops than everyone. I don't know. He's managed to get he's going to get 11 out of half a tank, which means he can get another 22 in. That puts him up to lap 33, and then he wouldn't have to fuel up too much on a final soft stint, because he'd only need to do another 13 on softs. Yeah, the decision is then 2-stop or 3-stop, whether or not you want to spend as much time on the softs as possible. Yeah. I think Kep's definitely doing it too. You got Javi back out with now it's a 7.3 second lead, so his lead is really getting cut into here by Syndra. Oh, something may have happened between Dino and Perry at the back of the field there. Not entirely sure what. Let's just see if we can catch anything. Oh, that didn't look good. We're a little bit too late. We can't catch. We saw the aftermath. Unfortunate, and he's flashing his lights a little bit, so he's a bit unhappy. Maybe we will see something. And Dino's actually behind Prime Call now as well, so it's been a bit of a disaster for him. He was right behind Perry. Yeah, Perry is not. Yeah, something tells me Dino didn't look and or sound too happy with what with Perry there. I don't think. But we'll wait and see fully to see if anything actually did happen. Dino, it's just an uncharacteristic race from Dino. He's usually round about where Zico is right now, actually, just waiting to pick people off. And this is the worst kind of time to have an uncharacteristic race for your own for your team here. Look at all this. I know. Ahmed, Slim, BX, Zico. Oh, BX stopped it! And he kept the car going. He has just about kept that going. Oh, that could have been disastrous. We've seen him drop the ball before. Grass there. Goes down the hill. Too much throttle too soon, I think, there. You're right. So now he's stuck behind Slim. He's going to try and get the position back. There's also a challenge for position between Zico and Ahmed. Ahmed's got a great slipstream on Zico here, and now he's going to have to defend into the corner. We saw Project Platypus incident versus Falcon in the last lap, and it looks like these two have avoided it at least. Yep, Kepler into the pits now. Oh, that didn't look too good there for Zico. Slides on the exit of the second to last. Right, Kepler into the pits. Javi's going to go around. Javi's going to take the lead of this race by a considerable margin. Now we got two Falcon boys in the top three as well. Yeah, wait and see where Kepler is coming out here. Yeah. That's where I'm interested. That's what I'm interested in. I want to see how close he is, especially to this pack. He was comfortably ahead of Owen before. It looks like Owen might actually get him. He looks like he's coming out of the pits. It might be close between these two. There's Keplero. No, it's going to be comfortable. Not even close. So he's basically exactly where he was before, around about 3 seconds, but with much fresher tyres. He's got onto the softs, and he's put a lot of fuel in. Yep, starting on the softs, gone on to another set of softs, so this could be interesting. Mediums potentially at the end, or a 3-stop, one of the two. But he's currently 4 seconds off the back of BX, and that's where he's going to essentially be. That's what he's going to be looking at. He's going to have to try and fashion a way past BX at some point, because he needs to beat him. He just simply, there's no other option. He needs to beat BX at the very least. Zico still involved here as well. Slim is going to have to try and fashion his way of an opening. Against the Project Platypus boys. So they need to, Arix and Falcon in particular, need to work together. That almost went disastrously there for BX. He just about survived that as well. He's struggling on this part of the section where the uphill becomes the downhill. He's struggling to adjust and making these little mistakes. I'm not too surprised though. He's in the GTR, and the GTR
I know I'm going to get slated for saying this, but the GTR does have a little bit of torque. It does have a lot. Well, actually, it takes a lot to get. Well, it doesn't take a lot to get that GTR spinning, especially in the slow speed corners, like the downhill there, where you have to be a little bit more cautious about when you get on the throttle. If you don't be more cautious, that GTR is just going to slide, and if you slide in the middle of that downhill, you are royally screwed.
Aren't these liveries beautiful?
This is the problem where everyone went dark colours.
In the pitch black. Right, the gap now at the front. This is so very similar to last week. Syndra is now catching up to Javi pretty quickly. He's just set a 2-minute 0.8. Javi 2:02.3 on his medium. So he's 2 seconds, well, 1.5 at least, slower than Javi. And give it a couple more laps, Syndra's going to be glued right to the back of Javi. And we're going to have a fight for the lead once again between these two.
Yeah, we saw Syndra versus Tobias last week. We're going to have Syndra versus Javi this week. The only problem is these two fighting is exactly what Project Platypus want.
Yeah.
To the letter of what they want. If they can just get themselves involved enough to get a decent position.
Whoa, Slim.
Particularly Slim.
Slim's got damage.
Oh, that's a bad mistake. That is a bad mistake. Especially when he's going after Zico.
BX won't know that he's got damage as well.
Oh, BX might just about avoid damage himself.
Kepler will catch up to both of them pretty quickly now as well with these mistakes.
That's what Kepler needed, what Alex needed, but he needed Slim.
Well, yeah, Slim was in such a good position, he's dropped back now, but this is him getting his medium stint out of the way. 1 second penalty for BX Royal. Look, let's ride on board with Kepler and see, because I think that is going to be served this lap, and we know 1 second is much more than 1 second on a track like this.
Yep, this straight as well. This is probably a bit close to double. Is he serving it now? That looks like the flashing light came on. Yes, he is serving it now. Is he going to get close enough to that Project Platypus? BX just kind of parking it in the middle of the road. And then Kepler around the outside says, if you're going to be in the middle of the road, I do not care. I'm going round anyway. And gets that position on BX. And now that means that Slim's going to drive away. Slim
huge overtake.
Drive away from BX.
Yeah, huge overtake in terms of the championship battle. I think it's time for another live standings update, because we've seen a little bit of movement now. Javi's still with the fastest lap.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, well, BX dropping a couple of places, and that's an 8-point swing. Kepler gaining 4 for his position. BX almost sliding the car off the track. That was almost catastrophic.
And you got Owen not too far back as well.
It's all slowly but surely go. What is BX is trying to warm up his tyres, which is not so good for. And see here, he's going from left to right, and again a little bit of grass there.
He's got 4th, 7th, and then where is Perry? 10th now. So okay, he's recovered a couple of positions. That's important. That means that Project Platypus currently have a 7-point lead as it stands over Arex.
He's got Dino following him, by the way. Half a second split these two. This they might about to swing a little bit closer. He said it's 7. It'll probably be what, 5 if this happens.
Or less, yeah.
It'll be inside 5, which means that we're gonna have a grandstand finish here, potentially, as long as it stays as it is. Again, Falcon probably getting a little bit closer, but need a miracle as it stands to realistically do anything about it. And a little bit of help from Kavar and or Aero GT as well, for good measure.
Yeah, let's see what's happening a little
Perry
bit.
in the wall. That's an interesting line.
Did he get damage? He didn't get damage.
Here we go. Dino is getting a lot closer.
Yeah.
Seems to get a better exit there as well. Perry's going to be under fire here. Perry's going to be under fire. He might be going for it now. A little bit of contact.
That's allowed Dino to get alongside as well.
I was about to say, these two have history by the sound of the GT chat. They're going through. They're still side by side down the hill here. Dino versus Perry as they go through. It looks like Perry's going to win the drag race. As they head down the hill now into the chicane. These two come together already.
He's going to go for it.
Another? Is he going to go for it? He is going to go for it this time.
No.
Oh, that didn't
they
look
make
too
it.
clean
They
either.
make it through. Dino a little bit
Dino.
too much on the exit. Now what's going to happen? He's gone for it again.
Oh, there's a little bit of bad blood here. You can tell. And Dino has
That
made
was
it
fine
stick
though.
this
That was a
time.
good overtake. Perry's going to try and get it back now.
It's going back and forth. These two are not. Oh, that's a.
That was his
That's a little
defensive
bit-
move. That was fine.
Yeah. Oh, that didn't look good
Very-
on the exit
yeah,
either.
he's lost it on the
Perry's gonna
exit.
get him. Perry's gonna get him.
Lost that position right at the end there for Dino. Really good overtaking, but it's not finished yet because we've got this lovely long straight that he's going to take advantage of Perry's slipstream. Perry's going defensive already. He's going to try and go more defensive. There's no
Why
space
would
for
you
you.
go? Why would you go?
Oh no!
they've come
It's
together!
gone.
Oh, why would you do that? Why would you even attempt that?
What?
On the inside there? What? Why? That's not Perry's fault. I don't know
There
why
wasn't
he's
the
saying
space
well
for
done
him.
there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's enough space on the inside there.
There wasn't space. No.
He's got engine damage.
He tried it.
He's got
He's
engine
got
damage.
engine.
We want to come out the replay.
Yeah. I was like, why is everything stopped? I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Oh,
So that is
Jesus.
bad news for Dino. He's down in 12th. He's behind
That's-
Hollywood now. 4.3 seconds behind Hollywood. Then we got
That's-
another
I don't-
5.4 up to Perry, who's in the top 10 again. But there will be some work to do for the stewards. So Whack, if you're watching, clear some time
Enjoy.
to look through some instance.
Enjoy. We'd rather you than us. Honestly, I don't understand Dino taking that. I'm not gonna lie.
I think
Usually-
he just had it convinced. He was like, I'm getting this position one way or another. But yeah, there wasn't
Yeah.
a full car's width to his right to go there, and he's the chasing car, so
The funny-
he needs to position his car carefully.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is he goes down the outside, he got the overspeed just round the outside and make your life a lot easier. But clearly, not what he
Yeah,
was
you
thinking.
can't overtake around the outside into this turn though. That's
you go
the
around
problem.
turn 3, I feel like turn 3, if provided both the cars obviously make it through the corner, you probably could get a good run on the exit, get a good exit, and get over into the uphill section here. I think that is definitely a possibility, especially if you've got the overspeed. And being on the outside, you got a longer line. It's possible you can hold more speed as well for good measure. So, I think it would have been doable. I think it would have been doable, but it would have been difficult, and it would have been a lot better than that outcome.
Yeah. Anyway, back at the front, the gap is 3.2 seconds. Syndra is lapping 4/10 quicker than Javi at the moment. So his advantage isn't as much as it has been, and that's mainly because those softs you can see are starting to wear a little bit. So the crossover period, I think we are approaching fairly soon. Maybe by the time he catches up to Javi, the tyres will be on fairly equal performance.
Yeah, and we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to hold his tyres together at that point. But yeah, Javi just kind of doing well enough to hitting a wall. As we switched onto him there, almost another one for good measure. As we got Slim behind him, Kepler there, and BX has dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, BX on the mediums though, so Kep has better pace than on the moment because he's on the softs.
There's Slim on the mediums as well. It was the original talking point we had before Kepler obviously got past BX, and BX is just dropping off a little bit now. We obviously still have the bad blood between Perry and Dino for
Dino's
reasons that we
done
don't
a
really
mega
know.
job of catching up to Hollywood here. The gap's only 1.8 now. He's basically shaved off 3 seconds.
What's the difference between Hollywood and Perry?
8.8.
Yeah, it's a
So
bit
yeah,
of a
about 10
distance there.
seconds Dino's lost to Perry with that incident.
It's going to be interesting, I think. It's going to be very, very interesting, and I don't know. I don't know where it's still a long way to go, obviously. We're still 30 laps from the end of the race, so I just can't. I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah,
how
way
this is
too
gonna
early, and
fashion
we
out.
still don't know who's doing what strategy. I think we're going to see a couple of 3 stops in here.
Yeah, and we've been here before, right? We've been here essentially. It was essentially the storyline of the entire first season, whether or not the extra stop versus the the extra stop would be good enough to win, and the 2-stop would, what was the 2-stop versus the 1-stop back then before physics updates and etc. etc.
Javi losing
saw
a huge chunk of time. Something's happened, I think, to Javi.
May have just
Might
had a
be.
bit of a mistake there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen it plenty of times before where the extra stop usually ends up winning. So we'll wait and see who is going to...
Yeah, with the
actually
longer
pull that.
races, a 2-stop's pretty difficult
Yeah.
at any track. But yeah, the gap's
It's gonna be
2.2 now. Another 0.3 he shaved off the previous lap. I think that he's going to shave off a huge chunk when we see the new lap times.
Yeah, and we'll see whether or not that tyre's going to hit 50%, whether it'll be this lap or next lap, because you can see on the car model on the bottom left of your screen, we're not very far away from that moment happening, and as we understand it, 50% is usually the point of the biggest drop-off when it comes to these kind of tyres. So,
yeah.
So we'll see how he reacts to that. 2.1, 207.
A full second quicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to keep that up, and he'll have P1 before his tyres properly start to go off. Yeah, it's going to get really spicy, actually. Javi really needs to do all that he can to keep this lead.
Well, he's extending it in the first sector of this lap.
He has got a good turn 1 exit.
Yeah, they just go up into 2.3 from the 2.1s now as they go into turn 2, and just kind of they're still feeling it. It still gets the vibe of everyone trying to feel each other out still. They don't really know what's happening in and around each other. All reminded that all 3 of the top teams are effectively on different strategies here. So
yeah,
we
absolutely.
don't even know what's going on. Never mind the rest of the drivers by the looks of things.
Kepler looks like he's starting to struggle a little bit. BX is reeling him in again.
We're going to look up Kepler's tyres.
Kep was the last in. He did put on fresh softs, but he does have a full fuel tank, whereas no one else around him put in a full fuel tank. So that will be putting extra strain on the softs, and also will be weighing him down on the straights as well.
Yeah, it's the combination of the softs and the full fuel tank, because obviously Alex and the team went all full fuel tanks, Tabby, Slim and Kepler, but obviously
I don't know why I put full fuel tank on and went for softs though. It doesn't make any sense.
View to the future, maybe? Looking at that
less fuel in the next stint, potentially.
I can only assume that's where we're going with that scenario. 5.3 seconds between BX and Owen, so we are really just top 7 and everyone else.
Yeah.
At this point in the race, so we kind of are just split in half. I don't know what is happening toward to the back. Got a couple of guys close enough to each other going down the downhill, but we'll wait and see if anything's going to come out of that. Kepler is still ahead of BX here while they're in the battle that we're watching. I don't really see an overtaking opportunity anytime soon here for BX as he goes.
Cap took a lot of curb there though. That will have lost him a little bit of time.
Yep, no, you're right about that. And Kepler, he is still keeping a somewhat healthy gap though as they go through turn 1, and I think that gap may have just shrunk.
Yeah, that was great turn 1 for BX, wasn't it?
It was a great turn 1 entrance. I'm not entirely sure about the exit.
Yeah.
Slided a little bit, but he is closing in. You can tell by the side of the screen that he is closing in. Javi's opening up though, however, at the front.
Yeah, this is quite major for Javi. He was about 2.2, now he's about 2.5. His previous lap was actually 0.3 quicker than Syndra, sorry. Syndra is struggling through this uphill section as well. Looks like he's losing a bit more time. He has hit the 50% mark on the front right, and I think that is significant for him.
Yeah, and whereas last week they had Syndra had the benefit of he was going against the exact same car with a very similar driver who had a little bit worse tyre wear. He doesn't have that opportunity this time. Javi is in a car probably with better help. That's a
it's a slapped car, that's fine.
Yeah,
Fluffy Boat, he's at the back again. I thought he would start it alright, never mind.
Yeah, in 15th, so that's tailed off at the back here for Fluffy Butt. So his race is essentially over and done with, which is not good news for him. GT Ahmed only 3 seconds back. Kepler is now within a second of his teammate, and obviously now dragging BX along as well for the ride.
Yeah, I think BX is just comfortable here on his mediums, just being close to these guys. BX has only soft tyres left at the end. I think some of the Arex boys will need to go on to mediums next time. Because Javi's only been on softs. Oh no, Javi's on the mediums right now, isn't he?
Javi is on the mediums, Slim is on the mediums, Kepler went double softs. That's the situation for
yeah,
Arex
that's
at
right.
the moment. So they're pretty set actually in terms of they need to keep themselves in front of BX, and they have been doing that the entire time. What tires Zico's on for?
Zico is on a medium stint and just been absolutely fine on his own.
I was about to say, that's the issue that Slim now has, is that he didn't get Zico early. He made the mistake to bring himself back to BX, and now Zico has had the entire run on his own, and, well, Slim needs to beat him as well, quite frankly. There's no other option than just burying Project Platypus for Arex right now, and they aren't seemingly doing that.
No. Tell you who's performing incredibly good. This man who just hit the wall. Ahmed's gapped Zico by a huge 14 seconds since he's put on these softs. He's been completely dialed in. Loads of 2-minute laps, and then he's been in the 2-minute ones. Now his tyres have started to go off. He's only 3.3 behind Syndra and only 6 seconds behind Javi. So Ahmed's got the potential to win this whole thing.
Yeah, don't forget that Syndra and Ahmed have both used the medium tyres on their first stint. They don't have to use them again, so I assume that maybe it's a potential 3-stop coming for these guys in terms of the softs repeatedly, potentially.
Yeah. Well, for Ahmed, his tyres are going to run out before his fuel, I think, looking at that.
It's certainly going to be close. I think he might time it. We saw him a couple of times in Monza do it pretty much perfectly. He might have done it again.
Also, something we haven't actually mentioned. So, racing at night time, you do have lower tyre wear because the track temperature and the air temperature is cooler. So, if you're on the soft tyres in your night stint, it's actually beneficial because you can get more laps out of them. So, this might have been a good decision here by Falcon to do this full stint on the softs rather than the mediums, which is what Javi's up to.
Yeah, you also have to think of the grip as well in terms of the nights, because obviously things are a little bit more colder, a little bit more slippier as a result. But yeah,
still can't see anything.
We're still in pitch black.
Yeah.
It's still I think it is a very good decision. The issue they did have, especially at the beginning of this race, and obviously it's coming back now a little bit, is that obviously with Javi hitting the front on soft tyres, is that Javi got 10 seconds. A 10-second gap straight away, and that is, well, it's not game, set, and match, but it isn't helping.
No, what didn't help was Syndra had to start battling with some of these other guys and lost positions, especially losing that position to Slim early on. As it looks like the sun is starting to rear its head as well. The sky's getting a little bit brighter in parts. Not there though.
Behind.
Still
have another 10 laps before it actually goes.
Not 14 times. Again. Give it another couple. I think we'll be able to actually do TV mode and actually see cars. BX actually falling back off Kepler now.
eSports race? Want to see cars? When? Nah, we don't do that. We don't do that here. Come on. But yeah, he's got BX has an 8-second gap to him, by the way, now. So the top 7 are well and truly the top 7. Unless there are mistakes to come, which is going to be the title could potentially be won or lost here on a gigantic mistake.
100%.
If you're down the hill, maybe a slide, maybe an uncontrollable slide, and that could be it. You see the title slip out your hands.
Tell you what, the giant mistake I think would have to come from Zico.
That depends on how many positions BX is going to lose. If we said that the grip, the gap at the last available thing we saw was about 7 points ish, that's 2 positions. I think BX could probably potentially drop that as well if it's a late mistake anyway. Or it could still come from Perry. Perry is still seemingly.
Yeah, let's have an update on Perry.
Well, Dino's got past Hollywood.
Yeah.
So guess who the next opportunity is here for Perry, for Dino.
Unless Perry can get Elian, the Battle of the Americans. Elian for Aero, Perry for Project Platypus.
Well,
no, they're both going in. Let's see how they avoid. Did they avoid the 3 seconds? Perry's very careful. A bit too careful, to be honest.
Also got no fuel, by the way. Perry's got no fuel, and the Elian got 41%. As we see Dino going to go for 1, potentially 2 more here on this soft tyres.
Yeah, he's got a bit of fuel left.
There's a
Hollywood
flag out for someone.
This guy.
He's continuing to be fluffy, but yep.
So what's happening at the front? Syndra, 2.6. So he's pretty even.
Stabilizing.
Yeah, it's really stabilized now. I think Syndra will be happy with that, considering how torn apart his front right tyre is right now. He's going to have to come in this lap as well. Javi could stay out for a lot longer if he chooses to, but if he does, he'll get undercut by Syndra.
The only issue there is that we're then seeing the difference in strategy, right? Because they fueled up to max, did Arex, so they anticipated a longer medium stint. They're probably going here to try and create potentially 2 soft stints at the end, which could potentially it could be very interesting, just to see how much Javi can make up. But yeah, it's just a lot of unknowns. We'll wait and see with the next tyre that goes on the car where the direction of this race is going to go, and we're going to get our answer now.
Yeah, we got Syndra in the pits now. He was 18 seconds ahead of Zico, so I think he's still going to be ahead of Zico because he has to refuel. Maybe Owen might be who he comes out near. Down in P8.
Where did BX got Kepler, by the way?
Oh.
That did not look like that was too long ago either, by the fact that they're so close.
Well, I can't do the replay again for some reason.
Rip.
Rip.
Yeah. Owen into
Actually,
the pits now as well, so he definitely isn't coming out ahead of Owen.
Let me try something quickly and see if this works. If I go out and in. You try turning it off and on again. No, it's not working. Okay, we've got no replay, guys. That's a shame.
Yeah, that's a little bit. We might have to do a little bit of
troubleshooting.
Yeah, I was also thinking about potentially talking like different saves and all that stuff, because I'm assuming it saves it to GT Cache or something. And that's just me spitballing. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Anyway, important thing is BX is right in front of Kepler, a huge position for the championship. BX up to P5 now. Starting to look a little bit better for him. On his medium tyres, he's got a bit more of an advantage as well over Cap, it looks like.
Yeah, looked like it is going to be like that. Kepler is soft, so definitely not making a full tank. So we'll figure out where Kepler goes from here, because he's got to try and hold on to the back of these guys, not lose as much time as he can, so he can have a free option for the next stint that he goes on to. Whereas some of the guys haven't actually had that option. What about, where did Syndra come out? It looks like Syndra has come out by himself, by the way.
Yeah, he's got some lovely clear air here. Kepler is going to come into the pits before he catches up to him as well, because his softs are absolutely dead. Ahmed in the pits as well, followed him just one lap later.
Ahmed's going to come into that massive hole between Syndra and Hollywood, by
absolutely. This is looking pretty good at the moment for Falcon, this strategy.
The only issue is that one of their drivers had bad blood with a Project Platypus driver and is a 12.
Yes.
that's the big issue for Falcon right now. It really just isn't a good sign when you've got someone, when you needed a 1, 2, 3 realistically to have any chance.
Yeah, but with Javi up in P1 anyway, I don't think it would have mattered too much. Sun is coming. Let's have a quick look around.
It looks like there is a little bit of a sunset popping up in the distance there.
A sunset?
A sunrise even, yeah. It's fine. Only 12 hours ahead of myself. Get out of here. But yeah, it's 20 seconds between Javi and Zika. That's insurmountable.
Yeah. I mean, Javi's in the 2-minute 2s right now. Not the quickest times, to be saying.
Zico doesn't look like he's too far quicker. Like if you go down to Zico 1 second. Yeah, 2:02.4. If anything, it's slower.
Slim's in the 2:03s. BX struggling a little bit. Actually, is anyone actually setting fast laps right now?
Does not look like it. Yeah.
Nobody. Everyone's pretty slow.
I'm getting ripped to the chat for calling it a sunset. That's fair, honestly. I kind of deserved that one. But yeah, this is the closest battle we have, and Kepler is not really getting much into BX right now. BX is opening that gap. That didn't
touch the wall as well. His tyres are completely gone, struggling through the twisty section. So, if Kep doesn't pit this lap, I think he's made a mistake.
Get him. I think Syndra gets him if he doesn't pit this lap.
Yeah.
Syndra's going to get her very close at the very least. 6 seconds the gap between Sindra and Ahmed.
This is going to be hugely fast this lap that Sindra's about to set.
It's going to be very interesting because he's going to catch up to BX potentially by the time this pit stops around tackling for everyone else. Like the Slim, BX and
Kep goes on.
Here.
What is Kep thinking?
It's interesting, that's a certain.
He lost about 7/10 in one corner there, Kepler.
He's losing out to Sindra. Sindra's got fresh tyres, but it's more, I think, his gap to BX that you might want to be worried about.
Yeah, it's up to 2 seconds now, basically. There we go.
If he can keep himself close enough to BX anyway, then
yeah, but if he gets overtaken, he's going to lose even more time to BX.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hollywood's in the pit, so that hole's going to become even bigger to drop into. Which also means Perry and Dino had pit, which we missed not all long ago. And there you go. There's your sunrise.
They both lose a bit.
Oh, they're the wrong way for BX! BX in the wrong way!
Oh, what has happened?
That's huge!
This is absolutely massive. He span it.
He's managed to span
He's
his car
lost
back
a
round.
huge chunk of time. Ahmed
What
and
about
Sidra
Owen?
get past. Owen has made his pit stop, so he's quite far behind. He's just got past Elian, who
Bear in mind, BX has still got to make his second pit stop.
BX hasn't made his second pit stop,
half.
and he's got a 38-second lead, which is going to come down when they pass where he was.
Oh, that is huge! That is a massive mistake.
And he's nearly lost it
He's got again!
Oh, he's got damage.
This time! What a lap! At the worst possible race of the season to have a lap like this! Oh, that is catastrophic!
Sindra and Kepler are meanwhile battling. It looks like Sindra's just overtaken him on the straight there, way before they got to the end of the straight. And yeah, minimised time lost, I think, there for Sindra. But yeah, if I was Kep, I'd probably be going into the pits right now to make sure I just stay fully ahead of BX and cover that off.
I was about to say the only solace here for BX is that Arix and Falcon are fighting each other. That's their only solace right now.
Yeah.
That is a bad time to make a bad error.
He's carrying on as well.
Yeah, he's carrying on. That pit stop's going to drop him behind Owen and Elian for certain. I don't know if it'll drop him any further, but it's certainly going to drop him behind these two lads.
These two potentially working together here as well. Elian's on the softs with much less fuel than Owen, so they'll have to kind of negotiate what to do here.
At that point, would you just not let him go?
You should,
let
yeah,
him have a
absolutely.
Shot,
but you have to overtake. You can't just get out of the way and lose loads of time. Yeah, the gap 21.5 seconds. And it was 35, I think, before the incident.
10th, by the way. So Aero
yeah,
GT,
Aero GT3 in the
right
top 10. That is great. Ahead of Perry. Perry is now 4.6 ahead of Dino. This is going to happen. We're going to see. Yeah, we're going to see.
Bad blood free.
We're going to see some action again, but not in the not too distant future.
Well,
then we got, unfortunate for the Cavar boys, 13th, 14th, 15th. But
well, yeah, that's 4 and 5 in the championship set. We don't really have to figure much out about that. Here comes Sindra on Slim at the front. But yeah, that might be huge. And I don't know how much at the moment. We'll see when BX pits, right? We'll see what the gap is and everything of that nature. But the championship might now rest on the hands of Zico. I have a lot of pressure on one man.
Yeah, this I don't know what's going to happen here. We've got 3 Arix boys. Oh, here comes Sindra. Pretty straightforward overtake there.
The next season should be about the 23rd of February, I think.
Yep, 23rd is right.
23rd of February, yeah. So the end of the month. It's in February we start.
So Slim wasn't able to do much to help his teammate Javi there. Keplero in the pits finally. I'll be interested to see where Kep comes out. BX will go through. Kep actually did a huge number of laps on those soft tyres, considering he put in a full fuel tank.
Yeah, and well, this is where, well, he hasn't got a BX to worry about anymore. That's a certain. The real question is now, what's the strategy choice for Kepler, and where we kind
Looks
of
like he's fueling to the end. He has to put on mediums. So this is going to be a tricky section of the race for Kep.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Kepler end on the mediums here.
He's going to come
never
up
mind.
very
There, he's on the medium now.
close to
there he
Owen.
is. 6 seconds. And
6
he's on his
seconds.
medium tires now.
Oh no, it's coming down. Might be down to 3.5-ish by the end of the straight. So Owen's got a good chance of picking off Kep here, and that means that he should be in ahead of BX when BX comes in as well.
Yeah, that is true. That is definitely true. Someone, Ben's in chat saying that Kepler should go to the end of the race now, which would be a very, very interesting. Well, it would be a very interesting decision. Maybe a tall order to get to the end from here, actually. And Zico, that Latari getting lapped now. Yeah,
Latari's a lap down on Javi, and Zico's coming up to him.
And there's Syndra.
Yeah,
Syndra.
Syndra's already 3.6 ahead of Slim.
Yeah.
What's happened to Slim? He's lapping in the 204s, really struggling on those medium tyres now. 4 seconds lap slower than Syndra.
Yeah, Syndra's flying right now.
That's
Syndra
crazy.
is flying right now. Whereabouts is he in terms? He's actually about to come up to Zico. Where's he in terms of Javi? What's the gap?
23 seconds. Yeah.
It's still a long way to try and catch up. I assume, but Javi hasn't made a second stop yet, so we'll figure out what the actual gap will be.
Syndra lapping quicker than he has done so far with a 2 minute 0.1. So that's 2/10 off of Javi's best time in the race, which he set really early on.
Yeah. It's 2 seconds now. Split.
Ahmed, meanwhile, was solidly in the top 3. He's out of position because he's made an extra pit stop, but he's down in 5th. He's lapping pretty quickly in the 2 minutes as well.
Yeah, 2.4 between him and Slim. So that gap will come down. We'll see when Slim pits. We'll see when Javi pits. I assume they'll be relatively team-based at this point. They've kind of made that decision already. But yeah, we're broad daylight now. It looks like we're very much in the early morning section of this race. And it's looking good for Falcon, but not good enough for a championship.
This is set to be one of their strongest performances of the season, which is good. It's going to set them up really nicely for next season.
I was about to say that, and I was about to make that point. We saw at the end of Season 1, Project Platypus destroyed everyone, and Arix Javi won that final race at the Nürburgring, and then that set them up for Season 2 success against Halex, and then they end up winning the title. This is what we would consider to be a statement drive right now, if Falcon can get it done, and then that'll set Falcon up fairly well for a push next season, albeit we have a couple of great teams joining to try and put themselves into the ranks.
This is going to be close. Ahmed versus Slim, Gen X versus Gen X. Ahmed actually held it really beautifully around that corner.
Yep, got it.
A comfortable position at the end. Sauce versus mediums.
Not even giving Slim a second chance to react. It's just a case of, I'm outbraking you, and that is as good as the conversation will be. So Ahmed gets by there. He's got 6 seconds to split him and Zico. Zico has been overtaken by Syndra, by the way, for second place in this race. 1.3 seconds. That gap won't have happened too long ago, as we see multiple Cavar cars in the distance.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. What's BX doing? Let's have a little update on BX.
22 seconds ahead of Kepler, which means he'll be about 25 up on Owen and company right now. The real question is, how long is the pit stop? How quick is a pit stop here at Bathurst?
Depends how much fuel you need to put in.
It's about, I was about to say, it's not that far difference. The top 5 have kind of just separated themselves now. Obviously, there's a couple of drivers that still need a pit. Slim's just having a bit of a mess there.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a slide up and down, up and down the hill there. Ahmed in front.
Wall as well. There's a yellow flag out.
Yellow flag!
It's fluffy butt.
We almost had a little bit of a moment there. We thought we got loud, thinking there might have been an opportunity of someone else's doing.
What's he doing? What's he doing? I guess he's getting out of the way.
Yeah, I can assume that has to be the case.
Right, Javi looks like he's
19
coming into the
seconds.
pit soon. He's going to lose P1. He's diving into the pits. Let's see if he could actually take it properly. Looked neat and
Good
tidy
enough.
to me.
It looked good enough at the very least. 20 to the end. Do you realistically think that would relatively be what they just did on the medium tire? Do you think they just go medium again, go straight to the end from here?
Potentially. Could you do
That
softs
would
for that
mean
long? Probably not.
I doubt it. That would mean that Syndra about 40 seconds back. Depending on how long
Zico in
he
as well.
has here. Zico had absolutely no fuel. So we'll see how much Syndra has ahead of Javi.
Is Ahmed going to jump Javi? Ahmed's going to jump Javi up into P2 now.
This is the crucial decision here. Is this mediums to the end or is this 2 sets of softs? It's mediums to the end. It's mediums to the end.
Kepler had a penalty. He's lost 2 positions to Owen and Elian.
Oh, that's awful. That is awful, Farix. Not a good sign in the slightest. He's got to get that back.
He's on the medium, so it's going to be difficult for him. Oh, well, Elian's diving into the pits. That'll give him a bit
of those. There's one of those positions back immediately. May I want to point out, if you want to go back to that, Javi is on a medium tyre.
Javi's on the mediums. Sure. Let's see what happens between Kep and BX. Looks like Kep's going to have that position on BX still, despite that penalty. Dino up into 8th.
What about Dino and Perry? Perry's behind Dino.
Yeah. So Dino got past Perry, but it's very close. We might see a little move here, though.
He might get help from BX. That's the bigger thing. He might get help from BX here. We missed Bad Blood 3.
We did. It came too quickly. But Dino's definitely got the pace on Perry, so he should be able to get away from Perry now that he's got past him.
What's the tyre situation between the two?
Exactly the same.
Pretty much identical.
Yeah.
Pretty much identical between the two. BX is 2.6 seconds further back here. So that would insinuate that BX is actually behind these guys proper. At that point, yeah, Javi is on a medium tyre, I thought so. But at that point, BX has got to help Perry forward, surely, because they've got to work their way up the grid together rather than being lounging down there together, because they're both 10th and 11th, or 9th and 10th as it stands.
So, Javi's got a problem. He's on mediums to the end. Syndra's going to be on softs pit and then put on another set of softs. He will have to refuel a little bit more than Ahmed will. Javi will probably get caught by both of them before the end of the race, with only an 18-second gap.
It depends how long the pit stop is, realistically. Because if the pit stop is the upside of 30 seconds, 12 seconds in a gap, at the end of that pit stop, that will come probably around about like lap 38-ish period of time, I think. Do they catch 12 seconds in 11 laps?
With Javi on 1 mediums, I think so.
It's going to be we're in the same position as we've been the entire time, right? We've seen this 1,000 times before in these spots. 2-stop, 3-stop, or 1-stop, 2-stop. Basically, the slower tyres, can they hang on against the faster tyres? How long can they hang on for?
And who makes the fewest mistakes as well. But these guys haven't made any mistakes yet. Syndra coming up to lap another Cavar boy. Looks like Latari.
Latari, he's going to hold him up. He's not going to be able to get out
of
the way.
Well, yeah, you can't get an overtake to the...
Oh, he's going to try. He's got to try.
He's done
That's for certain. Javi is short shifting also, yeah. I think Javi's just trying to go... Javi is trying to go to the end. He'll try and see whether or not he can fashion something out of this. I don't know. I usually think that the softs will win, but it really does depend on how long this pit stop is. If it's anything higher than 35 seconds, I think it's over. Yeah, that's my opinion on this.
I don't think it'll be that long.
I don't think... You might be right. You might be right. I'm not aware of how long this pit lane is in terms of in terms of how long it's going to be for Syndra and Ahmed. But if you are starting to look at 35 seconds, the gap will become difficult.
Yeah.
To try and climb over.
Looking at P4, Zico's 6 seconds ahead of Slim. Both of them out on the mediums again. And then Slim has only 5 seconds ahead of Owen. Owen's really made some good progress in this second part of the race. Up into 6th now. That's a really good position for Aero. They haven't had Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Dino
we got
versus
battle.
Kep.
Kepler on a fresher tyre, I'm assuming, than Dino. Kepler's not going to get
He's lost
anything here.
it.
Dino's up in the 7th.
Dino gets the spot. Dino on the softs, by the way. They are quite worn, but he's obviously getting some good use out of them.
Yeah, he's going to go a couple extra laps here and then try and go to
He's
the
got
end
good
of the next
pace.
stint.
He should be in the top 5.
He should be, but for one reason or another, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And that's...
Well, he could still end up in the top 5. I think he's going to catch Owen pretty quickly unless Kep can do something in return, but you might find it difficult on this straight.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult time for both. Again, we've said this multiple times, that this is the best case scenario for Perry and BX behind them, and the whole of Project Platypus, because the more that Varix and Valkyrie keep fighting,
Yeah.
the better off Project Platypus are, because they're taking points off each other. And when Kepler needed a good race, when Dino needed a good race, and they're not having them,
It's bad
it becomes
though.
a lot harder.
Perry's got to make another pit stop though. Kepler doesn't.
Yeah, so did Dino.
He's going to drop
remember.
really far back. BX is going to the end, so he's really battling Kepler here. Perry's battling Dino, but I think he's lost that battle at this point. Woohoo!
What about? I think it may be more the case that Perry may be out here fighting Elian and company.
Yeah.
Afterwards. I don't know if Elian's going to the end. We saw him pit. Don't know what tire he came out on.
Absolutely going to
Medium,
the
so
end.
He's definitely going to the end there. What about Prime Call and Owen and company?
Prime Call, I think, might need to stop again.
Yeah, potentially. 17 from there might be a bit difficult.
What's the live
definitely
standings?
GT have ended 4th.
Should we do live
Aero
standings?
GT yeah. But yeah, Aero GT have definitely come 4th. Kavar have definitely come 5th. Those two are locked in at this point, barring a miracle. Because Kavar have had the worst possible day they probably could have mustered up today. It's going to be very close, I reckon. It's now 20 seconds between Syndra and Ahmed and Javi in third. That's the interesting situation here, because obviously, if the pit stop is like 30-35 seconds, Syndra and Ahmed are still going to gain time up until lap 38, and if they can gain time up until lap 38, they may be up 25, 26 seconds, and then that gap is sub 10, and if that gap is less than 10 seconds when they come out onto their next set of softs, that is going to be game over.
So
having a lap on...
Having a look at this, the standings. So as it stands, Falcon 574 points, Arix 607 points, Project Platypus 624. So basically, Javi needs to win, but even then, the gap would still be 7 points to Project Platypus. The other two need to do something. Yeah.
They need. Bearing in mind, Perry's going to drop back because he still has to pit.
Yes.
So he's going to lose at the very least 1 to Elian in this entire fight. It's going to come down to inside about 5 points, isn't it? And then Javi missing out on the pole. Okay, that's a bit dodgy from Zika, but he's held it. And Javi missing out on pole by 2 thousandths of a second is what's going to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That 4 points is God's going to do it. And that will be heartbreaking for Arix if that is how that unfolds. At that point, if that's how you lose, would you rather just lose this race and make sure that you you don't have that heartbreak, or do you just accept you've lost by like a point?
Well, it is what it is, but we'll see, because there might be some
Perry
stewards.
Might also have a penalty. I was about to say Perry might still have a penalty with Dino. Yeah, you might be right.
BX struggling to keep up with Perry though. Perry surely is coming into the pits on this lap.
Yeah, he's not got enough to last. Not got a lot enough to last there. Not even close.
Yeah, quite a few scuffs on his BMW as well. Definitely been in the wars with Dino. I'm guessing that's where those scuffs have come from.
Yeah,
oh, Perry.
They definitely had it. It was a good battle the second time round, and
Here he
you
comes.
could just tell the second time round, however, there was an inevitable ending to that battle.
Yes.
Like, we were going through, it was close, it was on a nice edge the entire way, and then obviously everything happened in turn 3. We should program a graphic that shows the live standings. It would be very cool.
Well, we don't have a computer, so...
I was about to say, if we could...
I'd love to.
Facilities to do that. That would be absolutely brilliant, but we don't currently have the facilities to that yet.
Maybe one day. I'd really like to do that. It's just a lot of money to spend just for live streaming. So, Elian coming around the final corner. Perry is putting in fuel right now. This is really important because we've got two Aero boys that are potentially going to come out ahead of Perry when he comes out of the pits here. And this is going to be fairly big for the championship. I might have to redo the live standings.
Perry's coming out now, but he is behind both of them.
Yeah, he's going to be ahead of Hollywood, and he's going to be pretty much in no man's land. Got a few seconds behind Prime Call. It's maybe going to be 3 seconds by the time we get to the next corner.
It's mediums to the end.
Mediums to the end, that makes sense, I think. So he's down in 12.
The interesting question is if he could have gone potentially saved one more lap or two, or they'd gone on soft.
Yeah.
That's the why the confusion, I think, in my voice has come out of, or the intrigue has come from. Perry now down into 12th.
What's happened to Ahmed? Ahmed's lost loads of time somewhere.
Oh, he's dropped it. Yeah, he's dropped it. Go down. What's his times?
A 2-minute 15.
He span. He span.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's great news if you're happy.
Great news if you're happy.
News if you're the other two teams in this fight.
So, live standings update. As it stands, Arix are 11 points behind Project Platypus. This is definitely doable. We've still got more pit stops to go as well.
Yeah, Ahmed did not pit. Ahmed is pit.
No, he hasn't. He's going to have to pit. So is Syndra. So this might promote Slim ahead of Ahmed now because he's made that spin. He's lost about 15 seconds.
Zico as well.
Zico, yeah, actually it benefits both of them.
I'd say Zico may have gained a bottom step at the podium out of this.
Slim has to catch and overtake Zico. I think this is the key to Arix winning.
Either
if he could do that.
Either that or Kepler finding some sort of form, like now. One of the two. But you are right, the big points, the big swing would be here. Bearing in mind that there may be now a potential bottom step of the podium on the line.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I can't put the live standings in a graphic, but I'll put it in the chat.
That's fair enough as we've gone Slim. 5.5 seconds behind Zico right now. He's got to get going, and he's not getting going at all because Zico just gained another 0.3 of a second. It stands it's 5.9.
Oh.
Slim's got off the track!
Slim's got off the track. Is that a penalty? It looked like he brakes quite a lot. Oh my god.
It's not, it's 3.5. That's game. That's game for Slim.
That is
question,
huge.
Is he going to lose out to Owen? He's going to serve it now.
He's going to serve it now.
Owen 4.5 back. Owen might get Slim here.
That's such a brutal track penalty. But he did make the mistake. You can't straight line it. You can't straight line it. Here comes Owen. That's an easy for Owen. What about Dino? Dino might actually catch up.
He might get close. I don't think he's going to get it.
No, Slim's
too far back.
Right.
Slim's going to go straight back after company here. Okay, so the gap is 9. That's game over. I think the gap, it's around 10 seconds. This is what the margin we were talking about before, right?
And he's got 13 laps.
Be.
If he could be 1 second a lap quicker, which is very doable when you're on fresh softs compared to slightly worn mediums, he could easily win this. Unfortunately, Ahmed made the mistake, and yeah, BX is going to go through as well, but BX could potentially get Kepler here just to rub salt in the wounds for Arix even further.
Yeah, I did tell you that this race could come down to a big late mistake, and I think we may have just seen it.
Yeah.
I think we may have just seen it. I think that might just be the dagger here.
Owen does need to pit again. Look at his tyres. We just had a question in the chat. So he's going to drop back behind 2 Arix drivers. He'll be behind BX as well, but he almost definitely will be ahead of Perry at this point.
Yeah. Also, the question of the 3.5 seconds. I don't think the 3.5 seconds was that harsh either, to be honest with you. The straight line in that hill is... You gain a ton. The reason that the corner...
Yeah, you have to really go quite slow to avoid the penalty there, but it is possible. If you straight line it, it's possible to avoid the pen.
You just don't make the mistake. I know that's easy for us to say when the comms booth and everything, but just don't make the mistake.
Well, that's why we're not competing, so that we could do this. I don't want to ride around in P15. Ahmed in
At
the
what
pits
point
now
did
as
this-
well. So this is going to be really interesting. Ahmed with his spin, we're assuming it's a spin, the 2-minute 15.7 lap that he set, dropped him behind Javi, who's going to carry on to the end. Syndra, he has shaved a whole second off of Javi's lead at the moment, so he's doing exactly what he needs to do. But what's going to happen here is Ahmed going to come out only behind Zico. He's got 25 seconds. He doesn't need to put in that much fuel either. Zico's gone. What about Owen? Owen's coming in.
So Owen
that's going to release Slim. And Ahmed is fully out. Only not too far behind Zico. He's on the softs and Zico's on the medium, so Ahmed could still get Zico before the end of the race.
I think that's probably the more likely scenario, actually, than...
Well, he's had the pace all day, hasn't he?
Yeah, and
absolutely
3.5
fantastic,
seconds.
this Gen X round here.
The 3.5 seconds, right? Because we've been talking the entire time that with about 13 laps to go or something, we estimate that the gap's probably somewhere around the 10 to 15 mark if you want to be safe.
Yeah.
3.5 is not near that gap. And besides a mistake, I think that should be easy work here for Ahmed to get that position before the end of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they start battling, that could... Well, if they need an incident, really, to bring Slim back into it at this point. Right, time for another live standings, because all the positions have just changed since I did it literally a lap or two ago.
8.0 seconds is the gap at the front of this grid. Syndra not as quick as his prior lap, or as his fastest lap rather, in this race so far. 8 seconds that splits him and Javi at the moment. This is fairly straightforward, but obviously the gap is going to come later on when the tyres start to drop off just a little bit. BX still behind Kepler. As a result here, it's just starting to unfold this race. We've got 12 to go. A lot still to happen.
It's got even closer now. The gap is 7 points as it stands. Project Platypus has a 7-point advantage. Actually, I tell a lie. No, I did add the fastest lap.
Oh, Dino's in the wall!
Oh dear.
Dino's in the wall! He's hit the wall with the front right of his car there on the hill. The same thing we saw BX do earlier on. Picked up the damage. He's kind of lucky there's no one in a mile of him, as BX and Kepler are going side by side here. Up the hill, into the chicane, and Kepler has lost out to BX, and that could be massive.
Yeah, both of them on the medium tyres as well, so that is just raw pace that BX has been able to overtake Kepler there.
We've seen BX has been liable to a mistake or two.
Good recovery.
Well, Kepler now needs another BX mistake.
He does.
He's gonna need another mistake, isn't he? I don't really see another way around this.
And that's that's just increased Project Platypus's gap to 15 points. That one overtake from 7 to 15.
Yeah, because it's the swing 4 points either way. BX taking 6, Kepler taking 7. There's got to be a move at some point here for Arix that kind of seals it. And I don't think it's going to be a good one here, because I think Syndra might be about to win this race.
Yeah, Syndra's cut the gap a lot. Well, actually, a 2-minute 0.4 was his first hot lap, compared to a 2:01.8. So that's almost 1.5 seconds quicker per lap at the moment. That's yeah, he's lapping as quick as he has done all race long, and Javi is in tyre management mode at the moment.
He's in fuel management mode a little bit as well, I think. The thing about this is, so Ahmed is more likely to get Zico. I'll take 4 points off there. There is a potential on a BX mistake. There's someone gone round. There's someone gone round here. Someone facing the wrong way.
It's a lap driver.
Oh, it's a lap driver.
It's Fluffy again.
You're seeing on the track.
Don't get too excited.
We're on a championship. We're trying to make a grandstand finish here. I'm getting excited. If that was one of the front cars, that could have been a massive yellow flag.
We've got two drivers fairly close together. I need to find it.
It's Ahmed and Zico.
Where are they? It's actually Prime Colin Elliott.
There's also they're not quite close together. Ahmed,
yeah, this is a bit more juicy. Let's go here. That's what I meant the whole time.
I was about to say this looks a little bit closer to me.
And they've got a lap car coming up to make things a little bit spicy as well.
Yeah, Slim's 3.5 seconds. I mean, at this point in time, that 3.5 seconds with about 6 total isn't actually going to play that much of a factor. He's 11 seconds off the pace.
Yeah.
But it definitely took it felt like it. You could feel the air coming out of or the wind coming out of Arik at that point, I think. Don't want to say it's settled in, but it makes it a lot more difficult now. And then Kepler getting overtaken by BX for good measure didn't help.
Ahmed really driving on the edge here. It looks, he feels like he's about to lose his car at any moment. I mean, I know the Gen X is pretty twitchy.
So is that GTR that Zico's driving in front of him.
In your hands, anyway.
Where did it, hold on. BX is already smart. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. No, it's a very twitchy car. But yeah, it makes a mistake at any given moment when it comes to but Zico seems to be handling it fairly well.
Yeah, Zico's done well to be in the podium positions at this stage of the race, because I don't think he's had the pace today.
Well, he's just taken advantage of a Slim.
He's just been consistent.
And,
Slim and Ahmed both
well,
had big mistakes, and BX as well.
He's taken on the role of the third Dino usually takes here for Falcon, so he's doing enough. And quite frankly, if they're going to win the title, if they're going to win the title today, Project Platypus, it is on the shoulders of Zico, and he has been outstanding today.
Well, Zico's going defensive already. Ahmed's got the overspeed. He's going to try and go around the outside. I did say you can't make a move around the outside. Let's see if Ahmed can do it. There's a bit of contact on entry. He kind of turns it a bit too early.
Not today. Yeah,
not going to happen.
Messed it. He messed it up. He could have got that, but he's just messed up the lining, I think, a little bit there. You just have to settle at the back of this hill here, on the front of this hill, sorry.
Now he's going to have to deal with the dirty air and the car in front of him distracting him as well. What's happening in P2? Let's have a quick look.
It's 4 seconds now.
4 seconds.
That's game. Should be game. Because those tyres aren't dropping off anytime soon, by the way.
No, those tyres look great. What about Javi? Javi's tyres are more worn, and they're a slower compound.
It is going to have to take one of the greatest defences I'll ever see to win this race, I reckon.
Saying that, he's lapping in the 201s, which is bloody good for medium tyres.
It's still a second a lap slower. And then the soft
More
tyres,
than
they
a second
chase
and a
down.
half, yeah.
So
that's the problem.
It's just, I don't know. Also Ahmed got past Zico.
Oh no, they're still going side by side.
Happen. You can just replay it if necessary. Actually, no, we don't.
No, it's not working.
That's a shame. Well, Ahmed gets past Zico anyway, so that's 4 points. I think that's 4 points anyway, taken off the Project Platypus total. And the gap
let's
gets a little
update
bit
the
narrower.
standings there. So no Project Platypus boys in the top 3 right now.
That might be one of the very first times this season that's been the case.
What's happening here?
Kepler,
he's miles behind BX now.
At this point, it's relying on a mistake. It is as simple as that. They are relying on a mistake from Zico and or BX.
Yep. Well, actually, let's see what's happening with Perry. Where is Perry? Perry's back up to 11th, actually. He was down in 13th when we last looked at him, so that is quite a big couple of places. That means it's Project Platypus 632 compared to 617 for Arix. So that's 15 points is the gap at the moment in Project Platypus's favour. So they need multiple positions lost for the Project Platypus boys.
They need a mistake. They need a mistake. It is quite frankly as simple as that at this point. They may need multiple. Perry almost gifted them one there. Whoa,
yeah, kept it on track pretty well, despite being completely out of shape on the entrance to that corner.
There's someone the wrong way round on the track again.
Oh, Latari's struggling. Where are you going? Where are you going, mate?
trying to get himself around, I think.
Oh no.
Well, he's blue flagged, and now he's going to let the other drivers go by the looks of things. He might get in the way of BX and Kepler over here. No, there you go. They're both going to drive on by. Fair enough. As we continue to watch the poor man struggle.
There we go. That was some good, safe rejoining at least. They know that their race is pretty much cooked. Yep, 2.5, another second and a half since we last joined these guys. Let's ride on board with Syndra because he is absolutely tearing it up at the moment, lapping solidly in the 2-minute 0.8 compared to 1.1 seconds quicker than what Javi's doing. Yeah,
Syndra right now he can't make the same mistake as he made last week. That's, I think, the bigger thing here. He's obviously going to get a far more golden opportunity than he got last week.
Yeah. He's just I'm expecting him to just eat up this lead when he's going up this hill.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too surprising. He's got to get this done relatively soon. He should get it done. It shouldn't be too difficult from here on out. 2.2 seconds.
Oh.
Again, a little bit risky with the wall there. But yeah, 2.2 seconds shouldn't really be a far enough of a gap for Javi to hold on from here. But the clock is ticking down. And for Arix's point of view, this is a must-have. This is a must-have that Javi has to win this race.
The gap is under 2 seconds now.
Yeah, Javi doesn't win this race, you could almost certainly say goodbye to the championship.
3 to 4 working days to get back on track. Oh, I mean, fair.
The top two have just cleared the rest, by the way. 28 seconds to Ahmed in third is a gigantic gap.
It's because neither of them have made a mistake. Pretty much everyone else has either made mistakes or just not had the pace. Ahmed lost 15 seconds. I mean, he'd still have been in third anyway, so I guess the spin doesn't actually matter too much for him.
Ahmed was 7 seconds off the back of Syndra. Quite frankly, in this position, Ahmed should still be in with a relatively small amount of a possibility of getting Javi. Being about 8 seconds back, but he's just not.
He's lapping in the 1s and 2s on the soft tyres though. He's not quite there.
He has gapped Zico by quite a considerable margin.
He has. Yeah, had to overtake Zico the hard way after his spin, but actually it's looking fairly straightforward for Ahmed. But yeah, not much going on. Dino might catch Owen for a top 8 finish. Both of them on the soft tyres though. Dino's a bit more worn as well.
Yeah, Dino's got a bit more pace to him now by the looks of things.
But gap between BX and Kep, 8.3. Yeah, it's not going to happen unless something strange happens. This is going to happen though.
The only way the title changes hands tonight, in terms of from where the position we were in, is with a BX and or Zico mistake. There is no other way around this.
Yeah.
It is
and
the only
Javi
way
has to keep this
now.
P1 as well. There's a huge difference in points for P1 and P2.
Depends on the level of mistake from behind, I guess. But yeah, Javi does need. It does all start from here, but it isn't going to happen. Javi is going to have to put up the greatest defense for the next 6 laps, and as much as Javi's got the pace and everything, and he's been outstanding today, he's just suffered again.
Yeah, I mean, he picked the Aston at the start of the season. We thought it was a bit of a strange decision. I think it's come back to bite him in these last 2 races.
Well, it certainly did at Monza. That's a certain. But yeah, at this point in time, I don't even know if it'll be an issue today. I think Syndra's just been really good. I think it's the strategy. I actually think it's the strategy rather than the actual driving itself. Javi did this one stop shorter, and statistics, if you want to go data analysis, that kind of route, will tell you that in this particular mode of event that we do in these esports races, it's not a good idea. It's not at all not a good idea to do the shorter. It has barely ever gone well, and we're about to see it unfold again.
Yeah, I guess the 2 medium stints is really what's affecting him here, but look at the softs on Syndra now. Now he's caught up to Javi. He's been stuck in the 6/10 of a second range behind him. So maybe this is well, he's caught up to him at the worst time because his tyres might be struggling now compared to Javi's.
He has just hit round about that 50% mark. You are right. Again, they're just clipping that wall.
They both managed to avoid the wall that time. They both hit it the previous lap.
It's going to be close. I don't think Syndra's tyres had worn enough at this point in time. This is going to realistically change the outcome. I think Javi, he's just going to survive the straights.
Yeah.
Which is going to be difficult in his car.
Especially this time around, because look how close Syndra is. You can almost sniff the exhaust fumes coming out of Javi's car now. 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, just under 0.4. Is it going to happen on this straight? The acceleration of that Aston is massive, though. He's given him a buffer of about halfway down the straight. He just plant this in the middle of the road. Honestly, force him to go around.
He's going for it.
That's what. Syndra on the outside. Why have you switched off? He's gone to the outside. Syndra's gone deep.
Oh, he's gone deep and he's lost it.
And again for the second week running.
He outbrakes
Syndra
himself.
might have missed an opportunity. Javi's got 5 laps now, and Syndra's got worse wear tyres.
Yeah, he's got a much harder job now that he's dropped 2 seconds back. A 2-minute for that lap because of that one mistake. And yeah, that could be huge for Arix. And yeah, Syndra might not get a race win. 2 P2s in a row look like they might be coming his way.
2 seconds now. He's just blundered the biggest opportunity he's going to get to win a race. And I said that last week when, quite frankly, he was toying with his prey last week. And it came back to backfire on him. That's his own fault. This one, it's just a blunder.
Yeah.
It's just a mistake, and there's nothing that anyone could realistically do about it either. It's just Javi isn't going to care. Javi isn't going to care at all. The life standings, there isn't need for life standings. Nothing's changed realistically.
Nothing's changed since the last time I posted, so just scroll up.
Yeah, what could have been the nail in the coffin. Dino, just about.
I've never seen a car do that before. What the hell was that?
Too much throttle coming out the first part of the chicane again.
Rallycross.
We saw Perry do it earlier on, and these two seem to be enamored to copying each other all day. Perry dropping behind Prime Call might make the gap a little more interesting. It is just going to come down for the last 5 laps on, is there a mistake from Zico and BX? And they've lent, Project Platypus for this race, for this season, has lent massively on the shoulders of Zico and BX the entire time. You've had Matei win a race, but that was handed to him by BX.
And Tobias, let's not forget.
Win a race. BX has dropped Blue Moon. This could have been a formality, this race, if he had won that one. But those two together, Sars, the ballsy move there to gain the extra point, and they will come 1-2. It's races like that have earned them this opportunity. And now BX and Zico, the two that got them here, are now the two with the potential to close this out.
Yeah. So much better lap there for Syndra. He's basically shaved another second off. So we were saying that his tyres are struggling. He's not letting that show.
The issue is he's going to get back up to Javi and Dirty Air again. He's going to be in the exact same position he was 2 laps ago.
He's got 4 laps to do it. This is going to go right to the wire. Lap 49 of 49. We've been here for an hour and a half now. And we're still only 1.2 seconds away from the lead. Once again, such a tight, bloody gap between P1 and P2 for the second week in a row.
The clock is ticking down now, and that's the main factor. That's what Javi will be thinking in his head right now as well.
Yeah.
He won't care about the car behind him being 1.2 seconds back and seeing the gap. He will care about the lap count at the top of the screen, because that's going to be his saving grace in this race. If he does actually hold on to first, which would be massive. It'll be a blunder of an opportunity again from Syndra. But the second week running, he'll end P2. Oh, never mind!
He's lost it. Oh, the run down the side-by-side. You can't go side-by-side around here, but they're doing it. And now Syndra's got into the wall. Javi's going to try and get around the outside. They're still side-by-side going into the corkscrew, and it looks like Syndra's got the job done. Unforced error from Javi loses the win potentially here. He's got one more chance, but he's got damage on his car. He's not going to be able to get back alongside Syndra. That is an absolutely huge mistake for Arex there.
Oh, we thought the blunder on the last one would have been big. That is massive.
Yeah.
That is the nail in the coffin right there. Oh, that is huge. That is he's going to want that one back. He's going to want that one back.
It's took him 46 laps, but Syndra is finally back in the lead of the race. After starting on pole, lost it in turn 1 from Javi. Javi created about a 20-second lead as Syndra was getting overtaken by multiple cars on softer compounds, and he's fought his way back. Even though he's pitting extra time than Javi, and now he's got a great opportunity to just drive away, but Javi's going to make it difficult for him. He's got maybe the tipping points coming where the mediums are going to start being a little bit better than the softs, but his mediums are pretty worn as well. It's going to be difficult for him to keep hold of the back of Syndra, and he might just have to wait for Syndra to make a small error that he could maybe take advantage of in these last 3 laps.
Yeah, there's one unforced error apiece in this battle now, and well, one of them is significantly bigger than the other, and it might have just put a nail in the coffin if there is to be a mistake further down the grid. That might be a small mistake. The only issue is it's come up the hill, on the uphill. If he's going to make a small mistake now, then now would be on this uphill would be the perfect time to do it.
Both of them absolutely pushing as hard as they possibly could right now.
This is, yeah, they're hammer and tongue to each other. This is, you can tell this is a man that has realised the magnitude of his mistake.
Yeah.
With this kind of driving, can't you? Just another slight error by both of them that time.
Yeah,
I think that
Syndra managed to get 0.4 of a second there, despite him looking a little bit hairy. And Javi a little bit slow on the exit of the corkscrew as well. He's going to lose time all the way down the straight, and it might actually now be curtains, because look at that gap.
Yeah, that might be game, set, and match. That might be Championship Project Platypus. That might be it. And we'll see Prime Colin Hollywood in the far background of the shot there. On what has been a massive day, a lot of twists and turns. BX almost threw it away, and then Syndra and company almost threw it away on multiple occasions for Falcon, and then Javi has potentially thrown this away between him and Slim with the penalty earlier on, and Kefler has lost another one here. Yeah. This time to Dino, and that's just going to put
going
if it wasn't the nails
now. Falcon really just letting rip and just getting the overtakes done on Arex.
Yeah, the wind has been taken fully out of the sails of Arex now. It's over. It's over.
The gap is now 29 points.
Well and truly
Kepler's last lap, by the way, was a 2:11. He was in 7th, and now he's down to 9th. So he's had some sort of mistake. Owens popped up into P7 now. Great result for Aero GT 7th and 10th. And 12th, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's just been a bad... It's just been the small mistakes that have cost them, well, rather big mistakes if you're a Kepler. And then Slim also had the 3-second penalty, or 3.5-second penalty, moreover, for straight line in the chicane. It's just a couple, just those small miscues Javi went into the wall. They make a difference. They add up, and if you do them over the course of a season, you get this result. And this result is one that Arex are gonna want this one back. They're gonna feel like they could have done this. And they're going to want this one back.
I think they just made a mistake with the strategy, to be honest. They were the only people who went for the 2-stop, and they're just falling back at the end.
Yeah, it's just too much at the end. How much is Slim and Zico separated by?
11 seconds. In fact, BX is closing in pretty nicely on Slim. Only 2 seconds back. He's got 2 laps to kind of do something. Maybe that's not going to be enough.
I don't know if there's going to be enough. I don't really think it's going to matter.
It doesn't matter. The gap's 29 points as it stands. Arex going to hold on to P2 by about 33 ahead of Falcon. So Falcon doing incredibly well here. Just not enough.
Earlier on in the season, the order was too big.
There was some key moments earlier in the season that I think have lost things for Arex and for Falcon. Namely, Project Platypus never failed to get into Lobby A. Whereas I think Arex had 2 occasions and Falcon had one, or I think only one. But yeah, those are big points lost when Project Platypus is consistently at the top, and also getting 1-2s in half of the races as well.
You don't have to. You can also point to last week as well, where Ahmed, the company, Ahmed and Alessandro didn't really get the numbers down there for Falcon. They could have been in the opportunity where Arix was, had they done better last week. Syndra again dropping the double points because they didn't get because he failed his opportunity last week at Mon. So you can point at the little things that add up, and they always will add up, because that's how the nature of a championship like this works. They are a team, and if your team isn't all pulling your weight consistently, you lose.
That's it.
And it is
What's the phrase? You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yep, that is the phrase, and we have seen it today. Perry may have not have done the job, but Zico and BX have very much given them the opportunity to do a job with it. There is a yellow flag somewhere. I'm not entirely sure who the yellow flag was.
I think they're about to lap someone who's having a bit of a nightmare.
It looks like that might be that's either Prime Call or one of the Cavar boys.
I think it's
Prime
Call.
Which one it is.
Yeah. Anyway, we're on the final lap. The gap is down again to 0.8 of a second. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to have a last-minute move, but yeah, Syndra has to really nail this final quick chicane that's coming up in order to avoid little looking for Javi, because if he can, I'm sure he'd go for a dive body to the last corner. Looks pretty solid for Syndra.
He's too far away.
Yeah.
He's too far away. It's over. He's going around the final corner without a gigantic mistake. Reset on another season. And this time, Syndra will get his win here at Bathurst, and he gets his win, but that means one thing, and one thing only, and the champions of the world are Project Platypus.
Well, they still need to cross the finish line. No Project Platypus drivers on the podium today. Got Ahmed, who's going to come through for P3. So they haven't really put the best foot forward for the final race of the season. But yeah, great podium there for Ahmed.
The greatest mistake of all time. This fight. It's not happening. It's over. It is over. Zico to the line to get fourth. No mistake here. And there's one of them. Zico over the line. There's no way of stopping him now. There's BX with Slim behind, Slim in front. Slim's going to get over the line. It's a decent job for him, but with BX going over the line, that will put the nail in the coffin for certain. And that is it. That is it. Game. So there's another one in the wall. Game, set, and match. And it's Project Platypus. I said it before. I'll say it again. Champions of the world.
Absolutely fantastic season for Project Platypus. The second championship they won season 1, finished third in season 2, and now they have won again in season 3. Real big improvement from one season to the next. P7 for Aero GT. Dino recovered to 8th, 9th for Kepler.
On a disappointing day for him. He had to have done better today, and he'll know it. He just didn't.
Yeah.
That'll play the bigger factor, because if he had gone to the top 5 with Slim, that bad day for Project Platypus when no one was in the top 3. Sorry, that could have been the undoing. It would have been a lot of asking, but you gotta do better than 9th when you're coming up big for a championship run anyway.
So Hollywood managed to catch up really nicely to Prime Call at the end, but he is going to finish 13th, the last of the finishers. Aero GT securing P4, and Cavar finishing P5, which is 5 positions up on where they were last season. So that is a huge improvement for them. And despite not having the best race, I think they'd be pretty proud with how their season's gone, regardless of that. So as it stands, we've got, well, with the final race done, we've got Cavar 215 points, quite a way off Aero GT. We're on 288. They've almost got to double it to get to the next team. Falcon 570, 33 points behind Arix on 603, who are themselves 29 behind Project Platypus on 632. So if you only take the last 2 races into consideration, Falcon were the top scorers ahead of Arix, and Project Platypus were only 3rd in terms of points scored. So they do have some work to do, because if the gap wasn't as big in the first 6 rounds, they'd have had a lot more trouble than they ended up having. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they come back with next season.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different next season as well. Remember, you got all we've got a couple of new teams joining, and they seem to have a lot of pace to them.
Yes.
ERA, saw them in the chat earlier. They are, well, one of the faster teams that we know of anyway. So Project Platypus are going to have everyone gunning for them next season, and a lot of work to do if they want to hold that championship over again. They've won 2 of the 3, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win the 4th.
The target on the back for next season as well, definitely, with how many 1-2s they got. They got 1-2s in round 6, round 5, round 1, and round 2 this season. That is why they won. 3 pole positions this season, 4 fastest laps as well.
The Alsace one was the massive one, because you could tell that the confidence they were running with at that point.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the nail in the coffin, so to speak, but it was the point, like the massive point you could go, good luck stopping them.
Yeah.
You look at that and you go, stop them if you can, because I don't think you can, and no one in the end was able to. Even though the last couple of races, Project Platypus were not good by any stretch of the imagination in terms of getting onto the podium, getting into
just
winning
the one
race.
podium, which was the race win with Tobias, but apart from that, they had a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, and 2 11ths.
I'm about to say, yeah, the Tobias win was only, and even then, the Tobias win was a gift.
Yeah.
It should have been Syndra last week, but he played with his prey for too long at Monza and paid the price. So it's not like they've had an outstanding end to the season in these double the points races. They just ran the table so well in the first 6 that the gap was too much to come back from.
Yeah.
And that is how that works sometimes. That is the nature of the championship.
So, moving into next season, well, we've got an off-season, so we're going to see some teams moving about. Obviously, V2 are leaving, but we've got ERA, we've got Spider GT, and we've got, who's the third team? FGR coming back, of course. So, 3 very quick teams who I think will be competing for the top 5. And also, you've got Project Platypus, Arex, and Falcon. So I think those 6 teams will be really the ones to beat, and I think Aero, GT, Cavar, and the 2 Pegasus teams will have to do a little bit of homework and find some improvements ahead of next season.
Yeah, and it's gonna come down next season to who is going to be in Lobby A and who isn't going to be in Lobby A.
Yes.
And how many times can you get your drivers in there, because those 6 teams are going to be at each other's throat for 8 weeks.
Absolutely. So, I think that's a good moment to end it. Once again, huge congratulations to Project Platypus. Another fantastic season. Well, fantastic season for everyone in the top 5, to be fair. I think they could all be very proud with their performances. Big improvements for across the board. But yeah, we've only got one more round of Monday League tomorrow. So join Vexed, who'll be doing Tier 1 tomorrow night live, and then we'll have the rest of them as post-coms, and then we'll have the Race of Champions the week after, and then we're well into off-season. Sign-ups for next season, if you're interested in racing in our Monday League, our main league, go up on Tuesday in the GT Announcements channel, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, thanks for watching all season long, and we'll see you next time.